Oh, welcome in to Middays with Marks alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn in for Johnny Marks today. John will be back with us tomorrow. John tended some family matters today, so the two of us hanging out again on this Thursday. A little deja vu. We were here last Thursday,
Yes,
the
we
two
were.
of us. Austin Jones produced the program, and
Shout out.
we're going to start with, believe it or not, what's going on with this Eagles team. 8-2
The
right now.
8-2 Eagles team.
But we're going to be joined by James Palmer coming up at 10:40 as we are every Thursday. Later on today, going to get into a little bit of hot stove. Listening to the morning show today. Had Scott Lauber on. A couple of things he had to say that I'm interested in jumping into. But we got a chance yesterday to hear from Jalen Hurts. And coming up, we're going to listen to some of what he had to say. And before we get to Hurts and his whole end of this morning, I'm get ready. I love to go back when I wake up and I'm putting together the show sheet in the morning and listen to what the morning guys got into. Kincade and Salciunas starting out at 6 o'clock in the morning, firing away. Sometimes I hear it there in the re-rack, whatever it is. I get a chance to hear what they start out with. And they open up today talking about the credit that Jalen Hurts deserves for leadership, that he's been a leader through this, that through all the turmoil the
I
last
think watching
2
that
weeks.
press conference, a lot of people had a
And to his credit,
that kind of takeaway.
yes, I agree. I agree. When we're coming up, we'll take a listen to what he had to say. We'll point out where I think he did well. Last week we did where AJ was right, where AJ was wrong. There was a lot of where Jalen was right yesterday, and I thought he did well in the press conference yesterday. But as they're talking, I got this, weird chill down my spine because I started to go down a path I haven't gone very often in my time on this mic and just in watching this era of Eagles football. I had this feeling of, well, shouldn't we be giving more credit to the head coach? And that's not exactly somewhere that I get to a lot when we get to talking about this team.
Look over there and make sure it's not Bill Colarulo.
I know. I'm giving myself a little bit of grace today with this because I'm shocked that I ended up here. Obviously, I've given him his credit for winning the Super Bowl and the fact that they turned it all back around. And, yeah, he deserves his credit for all that. But there was a part of me as they're talking about Hurts, I'm like, well, all right, yeah. Hurts did really well in front of the media after a weekend in which quite a bit of reports about how people are bothered by the offense, might be bothered by him, everything going on with that. Yeah, he did well, but the guy keeping this all together up top is the head coach. And ultimately, you can say that on the field, the offense is hampered by the offensive mind that is their head coach. He is not the innovative, all ever-changing, evolving offensive mind that's at the forefront of everything going on in football. That's a part of it. He and Kevin Patullo are part of the reason why this offense is struggling on the field. But off the field, we've now seen a quarterback and top receiver dynamic that is tenuous, to say the least.
At best.
Yeah. We could try to bury our heads in the sand on it. We could try and ignore it, but it's clearly there. And yet, they're 8-2. Other teams, other situations, other cities, other organizations would be blown up. The leadership on this team, week in and week out, if you only listen to what the head coach has to say, and you don't actually follow along with what Mailata, what Davis, what anyone pretty much in the locker room says, every week you can listen to Sirianni Monday and Wednesday, and by the time you get to the locker room scrums, you're hearing his words pretty much be repeated by everyone inside of that locker room, which means even when you're bothered by some of the results on the field that don't have to do with winning, just what's happening out there on the field, his message is still getting through and still permeating entirely that locker room where they're kind of an echo chamber for everything he's preaching. And ultimately this week, and this is something that yesterday during the presser I think was exemplified, he takes heat when he needs to for his team. And on the other side, he's able to shut things down. And yesterday, Inside Radio, 12 o'clock hour, we went from the beginning of the hour to right up to 12:50. Didn't take a single commercial. We had cleared everything out because we wanted to see how that presser would go. We thought knives would be out, everybody be ready to go, ready to jump on the head coach. With one answer, the head coach shut down all follow-up questions and shut down the entire media addressing what was going on with Hurts. Take a listen to what you heard live here at Middays with Marks yesterday. Nick Sirianni during his presser answering the questions about the reports surrounding Jalen Hurts.
Again, when there's not a name on it, I don't put a lot of credence into that. And, obviously it's not good for me to read anything. I got to prepare to do my job, right? And if I'm thinking about other things, and so now when Bob preps me for it, I don't necessarily believe everything that's being written. I just don't. I've been around long enough to know that. So I don't give it a lot of credence when there's not a name. And again, just don't fall into the trap of believing everything you see or read.
Now, that's a load of crap in terms of the actual answer.
Yes.
But what he does there is pretty much say, yeah, anything you ask me about this, that's what I'm falling back on today. So if you want to continue to ask me about these reports, this is the answer you're going to get. He does it in a way, and he's done it tremendously over the last couple of years, in doing it in such a way that he pretty much has figured out how to shut down and take ownership of any of the PR crises that there are for this team.
Well, it's funny because we always talk about how Nick Sirianni doesn't actually say anything at his press conferences because there's a lot of flourish and there's a lot of words, but he does manage to. And it's funny because one of the things that there was a big question going into last season was the CEO coach. Can he actually be that guy, right? Not calling the plays. One of those CEO coach roles is to crisis management.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally, it's always a head coach's job, but when it's really at the forefront, when you don't have any play calling responsibilities, I think that Nick Sirianni, it is a good role for him. And for him to be able to navigate that with what people call really tough media. I don't know that the Philadelphia media is tough. We just pay attention as opposed to the level of apathy you might find at some smaller markets. It's just a larger spotlight here. But he's able to navigate all of that. And in a way that I don't know that it shuts down all the questions, but it certainly takes a lot of the sting out of whatever someone else could walk into. Because I think other head coaches, if they were not adept to that, they could really put out some bad fodder out there, both for their team and for the opponents.
Last week, we spent a good amount of time skewering Hurts and Brown for the 4th and 6th decision to go, when they go for it against the Packers, they give them the opportunity. But we end up skewering Sirianni a lot more because the way Sirianni went and answered that question, basically saying, I knew the play that was there. I knew the play. You didn't call it. But he gave us the answer that he knew he would get skewered for. He knew that he was going to be delivered all of the criticism possible for it. Much like 2 years ago in Seattle, when they do the same thing, they go rogue. He takes the blame for it.
He did it again on Sunday, too.
And, hey, he made the mistake. And on the field, some of the things that have gone wrong, absolutely there. But in terms of the culture right now and the fact that they've been able to hold together what seems like a tenuous situation between quarterback and wide receiver one, a team that knows it's underperforming offensively, that still has its offensive leaders pretty much preaching the message, following in line, and Hurts, who hasn't had an issue with Sirianni since they went to couples counseling over the bye, last season. He's been able to pretty much get everyone in line and get the ducks in a row for this team.
Well, the proof is in the pudding. I mean,
and the results, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So it would be hard to have a message that does not get translated well and does not come across well. And you're mentioning it because when you talk to everybody in the locker room and at other press conferences, whomever's coming out, whether it's Jalen Hurts or the other coordinators, the message is the same. The message is the same is because it's working. There might be strife between A.J. Brown and the offense and how it's run, but overall the team has to look and be like, we're 8-2. We're the lead dog in the NFC right now.
So we've often posed the question of how many coaches could be successful with this amount of talent. I kind of want to pose the inverse here of how many coaches could withhold and keep a culture together like this to have the success that they've had over the last couple of years.
I think the coaches that are on that list are coaches that have been a coach for a very long time. You're looking at like a Mike Tomlin, a John Harbaugh, maybe a Pete Carroll, guys that have seen it and done it. The fact that Nick Sirianni is doing it with not that kind of legacy as far as managing these type of situations at the NFL level, which is about managing egos, very much so, I think is when you're thinking about the coaches that can do it, you're like, oh, that's a guy that's probably been around a lot of NFL football in their day.
Has the CEO been given enough credit for the organization succeeding? Is pretty much the question here. Because it feels like we will, and so we'll point to what they do on the field, and we'll say, well, look at Fangio's defense, the way it's rolled.
Right.
Point to what they're doing on the field, say, well, it's Sirianni's offense, so it's kind of on Sirianni for that. And absolutely, you could get after him for the offense. But for the fact that this team is still being held on, still all together, still winning, the credit for the guy that sets the culture has to be there. And I was listening this morning as they're talking about Jalen Hurts and the credit he deserves. And sure, yeah, he did well at the presser. We're going to play some of that for you coming up. I kind of look at it. And yesterday, if anyone comes out the winner, to me, it's the way that Sirianni pretty much shut down any conversation about his quarterback in a press room.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how, because it can turn so quickly. right?
Right.
The first loss in any of those games that if they had turned out to be a loss, obviously the handle is not on as tightly as we thought.
Right.
But I think because of how everything is seemingly going behind the scenes or in the locker room or in those offensive meetings, it's even more impressive to think you have clearly some issues on offense, both with play calling and with personnel getting along.
Yeah.
I don't think that's out there. Everybody knows that
Right.
at this point. The fact that they've been able to navigate that and it hasn't imploded like it did in 2023, because let's face it did. I think a lot of lessons were learned that year on how to handle a team. And I think Sirianni was the number one as far as learning how to handle a team when adversity comes your way.
And that's one of the biggest differences. And that's we
yeah.
mentioned it this year. The thing like Fangio defense, that's a big difference. Difference is they went through 2023, and that's what's not allowing 2023 to happen right now with this group. Because I think we're seeing the total control of what Sirianni has on this group. And it's amazing that I've gotten to this point with this guy. But I'm listening to them talk this way about the credit for Hurts, and I'm like, leadership, I think, goes one step higher with this. And I do want to get to the leadership that Hurts showed, because coming up, we will take a listen to a couple of things that he had to say, talking about accountability, understanding why guys are feeling the way that they're feeling in the locker room. And ultimately, I thought it was a job well done yesterday by him. I'm not here to really spin this another way that, oh, look, he's trying to. But we'll give you a chance to listen to that. And later on this hour, former Eagles wide receiver weighed in on what's going on here. And we'll get you some of his comments before we get to James Palmer, because I saw it and I was like, oh, come on. One of my favorites, man.
Yeah.
Leave us alone. Leave us alone. But we'll get to that coming up. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. And for John Marks here on Middays with Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic. And hey, it's Ray Dunn for LennyWins.com, your number one source for professional sports betting insight since 2002. With over 20 years of winning success, Lenny's team is ready to put your money to work. Last week, they hammered the books about college and pro football. Thursday, they gave you the under in the Jets-Patriots game. Friday, they gave you another outright underdog winner with Clemson. Saturday, Lenny Wins beat the books once again with an upset winner, Virginia. Tonight, the Buffalo Bills play the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium, and they're giving everyone access to their NFL best bet for Thursday night for free. All you need to do is text WIN to 72761. Free NFL blow-up point spread winner. Text WIN to 72761. That's keyword WIN to 72761. Stop losing and start winning big with Lucky Lenny. Free Bills Texans winner. Text keyword WIN to 72761, and they'll see you guys in the winner circle. Middays with Marks here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Alongside Amy Fidwell, I'm Ray Dunn in for Johnny Marks. Good to see Connor Thomas.
Yes,
a
little in between the shows.
A little breakdown. Tonight, I think he's going with the Bucks third quarter money line against the Sixers. What's the deal with this? We're obviously going to get back to the Jalen Hurts thing in a second.
It's mind numbing. I can't. It's confounding. It doesn't make. They lost third quarter last night, 44-26.
Yeah.
There was 8 turnovers in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's not great. I'll say I did more scoreboard watching than actual watching because I had the Temple game last night.
Oh, yes, well, you were working.
Yes, yeah. Listen, if I can get a chance to watch a Sixers game, I will. Last night just didn't. I had this conversation last night with someone because they were like, oh, what do you got going on this weekend? I was like, well, I got this, that. Then I'm like, yeah, Sunday I'm going down to the Sixers game. After the Sixers game, going to watch Eagles-Cowboys. Then after I'm going to watch Eagles-Cowboys, and I'm probably going to watch the second half from down at Union Yards in Chester because I'm going to the Union game Sunday night. Like, oh, so your life literally just is sports. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't really have hobbies. So,
this is my hobby.
This is kind of, yeah, they're like, well, that's kind of a hobby. I'm like, I guess if my profession, my hobby became my profession.
People say, though, like, oh, you're going to go to a game. You're going to be at the Eagles game, whatever. I'm like, yeah. So this is like something you do for fun.
Yeah.
That's why I do it for my living,
right?
Because it is fun.
Yeah. So all that to say, I wouldn't miss a Sixers game just to miss a Sixers game.
Right.
Maybe last season, but not this season. Certainly not this season.
Yeah, it was. The third quarters. It's something to be studied.
Yeah.
It's the lock. I can't imagine that there's good money on that money line of the third quarter.
I mean, at some point it has to break, right? At some point you got to play a good third quarter.
You've gotten one.
All right. Well, back to the Eagles here on this one.
Speaking of things that are good.
Yeah, that encouraging conversation about the 76ers. Jalen Hurts yesterday stepped to the podium. And I got to say, Austin, the two of us talked about this off the air yesterday. We thought it was going to be close to 550. I saw it was, 530, 535?
It was a little early yesterday. I was very thankful for that.
He usually likes to wait until everyone's finished their commute home, and he likes to make sure everybody's missing dinner if they're covering that presser. So
I couldn't believe it when I was watching the stream of it. I was like, I was like, oh, but it's okay. All
right off the practice field with the head cap and Under Armour on.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Now, Hurts, a couple of things. There are two cuts I want to go to here, and I want to start with the accountability that he wanted to take for just pretty much everything going on with this offense. Here's Jalen Hurts.
I think it definitely does. And, I take a lot of the responsibility when things are going. I guess I get a lot of attention when things are going well and when things are not going so well. And so I never run away from holding myself accountable. And I think that's exactly what I've taken the approach of doing. Even when I look at this last game, I take great pride in what we do on offense. I take great pride in how we go out there and play as a team and what our flow is. And so we obviously got work to do, and I think that obviously starts with me. That's always my approach. That's always me looking internally first in everything that we do, and then in due time rising above.
So it's nice to see. This is one of those good to hear, nice for you to say to the media, well done. You're not starting anything more. Maybe this is a moment of he heard all the noise over the weekend and was like, pointing fingers in this meeting, in this press availability is definitely the worst thing I could possibly do. It's a very PR buttoned-up answer. I can't really say that. When I listen to it, I'm comforted by it because it's like, all right, this is a guy that's trying to slow down all the noise around them. But it's not one of those that I'm overly joyed. Oh yes, he's taking ownership of the situation. He's handled it perfectly. He's handling it well, and I think he handles it well
as he should.
Right.
You're the starting quarterback of the defending Super Bowl champion, and you'd like to get back there.
Yeah. And that's
throwing kindling on any kind of fire is not how you get back there.
Right. So it's a good job at trying to put out the fire. And he also, I thought this was the best part of it. So late in the press conference, he relays a sense of understanding of why there might be frustration from guys around the team about the offense right now.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by anything. I mean, this is kind of the nature of the position, like I said. But, I put my energy and I put my focus on trying to go out there and do my best and trying to learn, trying to build, trying to take in the things that I can to improve. And so, I've said this before about winning and success and all those things. That doesn't do you anything in the present. It's only an experience that you can lean on as you go forward. And so you lean on all those successes. You lean on all the trials. You lean on all the different things that you've experienced. You use them. Ultimately, it's about how you navigate what's in front of you and how you respond to these things. And so I think the response is more important than anything.
And the response has to be this offense playing well. Like, that's basically what this comes down to.
Yeah, words are fine, and that's all well and good. But, like, at some point, you have to have some kind of identity on your offense.
Yeah. So, to me, the words are good because it's kind of calms down everything that we're talking about with this team and this offense. But ultimately, those two cuts kind of sum up what was a press conference of Hurts taking accountability, taking ownership, saying he understands why things are said the way they are. He understands that the position that he plays, there's going to be people talking about him. But I don't think there was anything revealed or there was some great revelation out of that outside of Hurts did his job. Hurts is also understood now, and this is something that that has changed from 2023, certainly changed from the offseason of 2024, leading into the beginning of 2024, understands where his words could hamper people. And maybe he understood it before and he was throwing those darts intentionally, but now he's not throwing any of those darts because that Sirianni-Hurts dynamic is long in the past, which I think, again, is a testament to the fact that this goofball that runs this team was able to get his robotic quarterback to buy into, hey, this goof knows what he's doing.
Yeah, maybe don't give anything for them to
and he
chat
gave
about.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, yesterday, Sirianni did a great job of giving nothing. Yesterday, Hurts did a great job of taking ownership and pretty much giving you everything. They're giving you nothing. So, ultimately, it was around last night, around tip-off, honestly, because I leave the show yesterday. We talked about it at the end of yesterday's show, which is so ironic. If someone remembers yesterday, I was talking about this in the 12 or 1 o'clock hour. I apologize because I was like, you know what? Tomorrow it would be a fun little shtick for us to see how long we can go into a show without mentioning the offense. Stupid me. Hurts was going to speak yesterday. We were going to react to what
that was never going to happen.
That was never going to happen. But I was like, all right, Hurts really didn't give much. We'll get to it at some point. And I was like, I got close to tip-off. I was like, I wrote down some notes for what the show was going to be. Game happens. I open up my phone last night, and I see my favorite wide receiver in Eagles history. Because, childhood does something for you. And when I say childhood and then say this name, it's going to make a lot of you hate me. But this guy, just such a big fan. I've been so excited to see what he's doing at Delaware State. I didn't realize he had another podcast now with Clinton Portis. Good for him. But I was ready to put it all aside. And then I saw and we'll read the quote for you. Because this is what I need to stop.
Yes.
This is what I need to stop. Everyone is surrounding.
You could have stopped at the beginning of that sentence that you started there with your this was your favorite receiver of all time.
Well, I mean, I've long said that Devontae Smith is a revelation to me because the Eagles drafted a wide receiver that was good.
All right.
Like what?
Right.
Jackson, Macklin. What decade of what? And then more than a decade of what?
I was going to say you can increase those numbers a bit.
You know who I'm taking the most joy in Chip failing, mostly because of this guy and because Macklin, McCoy, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I'll read a little bit of what Deshaun Jackson had to say for you coming up, just because I think it's important to at least acknowledge that it happened and then move past it as we get to James Palmer coming up at 10:40. And at the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to keep to yesterday's promise. We're going to that defense, and we're talking a lot about it. But coming up, breaking down a little bit of what D-Jax had to say about the dynamic between QB1 and wide receiver 1. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn here on Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles' offense has been inconsistent this season, and Jalen Hurts spoke to the media yesterday about how each game has been particularly different for the offensive side of the ball.
I think over the course of the year, we've gone out there and played different styles of games, and almost all of the games. It's about sitting in something, committing to it, and then going out there and saying, this is what we're going to do.
Yesterday at Eagles practice, Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson did not practice, and Jalen Phillips was limited with a shoulder injury. James Palmer from The Athletic will join the show at 10:40. Last night, the 76ers fell to the rafters, 121-112. They'll be back on the court tonight in Milwaukee to face the Bucks without Giannis. Tip-off is for 8 p.m., and you can listen right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And the Flyers are back on the ice after having a few days off. They'll face the St. Louis Blues again, but this time down in South Philly. Puck drop is for 7 p.m. You can listen to the game on 93.3 WMMR. are. This update is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Score huge deals and better sleep at Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Their sleep experts will find the perfect bed for your unique needs. Mattress Firm, they make sleep easy. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Alongside Amy Fadula, I'm Ray Dunn. Austin Jones producing today. Getting into some conversation on the Birds here. And I open up with just the idea and the question of how much credit does Sirianni get for the culture and the fact that they're 8-2? Because we could talk about the blame offensively, and I think everyone out there over the last 72 hours, 48 hours. Because after Monday, we react to it. And Monday, I think everyone got a lot of how they felt out about this team.
Right.
Tuesday, we continued to react to it.
Yeah, they had to have the catharsis. Well, Tuesday you start to react to it because then you get to hear from Kevin Petula for the first time.
Well, yeah, no, I'm done hearing from Kevin Petula. At some point, yeah, you know what, Austin, I'm going to read out the Deshaun Jackson thing here in a second. If you could go into the system, I believe it's Kevin Petula 3 from Tuesday. I could go through our cut sheet and make sure that I have that right. There was a moment when he was speaking the other day that, sometimes I don't say I fly off the handle, but there are a few moments where I can get pretty animated in here.
Yes.
I would say that you've seen it a few times, and it's really random things. Tom Alvord, who used to work here, love Tom, would always make fun of me because he was like, it's the oddest things with you that end up.
They get you fired up.
Yeah, get you fired up, get you upset. And it was one answer from Petullo the other day that I was just like, I have very little faith that this man has the answers that I desire. And part of that is Sirianni's fault. Some of the on-field product you're seeing right now is Sirianni's fault. Absolutely. But the credit that I think he deserves for this team right now is that the culture of this thing hasn't eroded, and this team continues to win in spite of the fact that things coming out about the quarterback, coming about the wide receiver. Inside that locker room, I would imagine there's a lot of guys that are underwhelmed with the way that they've played, and yet they continue to win. They continue to echo his message,
Well, that's the thing.
and this thing stays on the rails.
Yeah, winning, it's going to cure and cover a lot of your ills.
Right. But it takes having everyone on the same page to win. It takes
buying
having
in,
everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, and that to me right now, and I think for him, he takes the heat when he needs to, and he's able to shut down things in a way that he wasn't before. I think he has mastered the PR art of being a head coach, which is amazing, again, to say about a guy that I thought was 2 years ago, I think I called him a clown.
You can
Probably.
go further back. I mean, listen.
Well, yeah, from the opening presser, there was the questions, but I wasn't on the air for that. So
That was
luckily
remarkable.
for me, there are no takes
But
that
even
really
like the
exist
flower,
for that one.
Remember,
Well, yeah, we all
literally
fertilized.
won like 60 games since the flower.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. And I think I heard this morning the Kincade and Salciunas giving props to Jalen Hurts. I was like, I think it goes just a step higher. And, yeah, it is Petullo 3. Whenever you could get that one right for me. But Deshaun Jackson on his podcast, House of Action. It's a minute clip that's been posted around, and the crux of it, I know it's something else going on. It's not about football. It's not all about X's and O's. Talks about how his relationship with A.J. Brown, he's not going to put Brown's business out there, and that Deshaun himself has played with quarterbacks he doesn't rock with. And it's like, all right, so you're insinuating, again, there's something between these two guys. And I think at this point, even the Eagles fan with Kelly Green glasses, Kelly Green head to toe, like Buddy Ryan tracksuit, like everything's gold. We're going to win the Super Bowl
always gonna
every
win,
year. Even that Posidelphian that believes every year something incredible is going to happen to this team has accepted there's something going on between the quarterback and the wide receiver. If you haven't, welcome
no
out
way.
from under your rock. Like, the thing is, and this goes back to the original point about Sirianni, the buy-in from the two of them is still there. When you listen to some things that Hurts said yesterday, it kind of mirrors some things that AJ said in his locker. Like, the two of them at least are giving similar messages about succeeding. And even if they don't speak to each other outside of those four walls, even if they don't really speak to each other in general, as long as everything's on the page where they keep winning, I'm done. And yes, it does feel like I said it over the summer, and this is not to equate the two players because one is one of the best at his position, and one, every time I read something about the Phillies offseason, I want to lose my mind. So don't, whatever you do, Dutz back there, do not clip this in a way that suggests I'm saying they're the same people or in the same situation. But I said over the summer, it felt like we were going to a breakup with Castellanos, where it was going to be like the two sides were going their separate ways. It feels like this A.J. Brown situation's headed in that direction.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it is wild. But the fact is, at this point, they're here together. They have to coexist. And right now, so long as they've, and I think they can dial it up offensively. I really do. It's going to take some adjustments here. But I'm so tired of, like, I know something about the two of them. And the messenger, I don't care who the messenger is. I don't care God could come down and tell me I know something about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, and I'm like, you know what? I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care who knows about
Because
anything.
That's the thing, because you know that there is something there. The details of it,
I don't care anymore.
it doesn't really matter.
And I care in the dynamic of what it means for the football team, and if it starts to impact the play on the field, and it seems like it does impact the play on the field a little bit, but I don't need any more people. Like, can we stop with the media grift of, like, I know something about those two, and that gets the reaction? Because that's the thing that really bothers me. It's everyone's, I know a little bit there. I know a little bit about the inside.
I know there's something.
Everybody does.
Yeah, it's a known fact at this point. You can't operate the way that they have, and all the I don't even know if it's silent treatment, whatever it is, the weirdness and the awkwardness that seemingly comes through. Of course it's there. What do you got going on over there? Your it's not working now. Ray's going to fix his microphone. No, it's not. Do you want to come use my microphone?
Is this working
There
now?
it is.
Oh, what is
Bad
Salciunas
cord.
doing to this microphone?
Rip, he took it
I'm
off.
not going to blame Salciunas. Who was here last night? Salciunas is too much of a pro's pro with the microphone. That
Didn't
I can't.
happen to.
That's right. Salciunas, I took it back immediately.
You can blame Bill. He was the last one in the seat last night because D was down at
Oh,
the
there you
arena.
go.
There you
Well,
go.
that
That makes
fits.
sense.
There
It was
it
Bill.
is.
He's got no idea. Listen, I get it. It's
Electronics in him.
It's
a
not
good-
a legal
not a good
document.
fit.
He doesn't know what he's doing with it. Like, I get it. Makes sense. All right, coming up, we got James Palmer. I can't believe I just caught on YouTube him walking in. They got like the door swinging open.
Yeah. Because
But-
it was like, it's dramatic. It was like a wrestler
Yeah,
entrance.
it was. I thought he was going to come fight me, and I wouldn't blame him, honestly. No, we're fine, Vito. Don't worry. We're back on track in here.
We figured it out. We unplugged it.
Coming
plugged
up,
it back
we're going to
in.
get James Palmer of Bleacher Report and The Athletic to join us, and we'll ask him about another week in Eagles news and all that's going well and not so well with this group right now. And coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to go into what is going well for this team, looking at this defense, and is this potentially better than what we saw a season ago defensively? We'll get to that coming up. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn, in for Johnny Marks here on Middays with Marks. Middays with Marks here on 97.5 The Fanatic alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn in for John Marks today. Believe it or not, talking about the Eagles offense to open up today's show. And more so, getting into
I would love it if they just go ahead and if they scored touchdowns, plural.
That'd be cool. That's something. That's a lot to ask for.
Sure
yeah.
Nothing's going to be flying up there. But it's just like then we don't have to talk about it. You could talk about fun things like the defense and hey.
We're going to have some fun here because we're going to go to the Comcast business hotline.
This is
and we're going to talk to a man that is tapped in to the NFL as anyone. He is our hero from the 610. Works for Bleacher Report, The Athletic, does a podcast with Steve Smith, all across the board. A ton of great work. He is the one and only James Palmer joining us right now. James, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How's everything back home?
It's
is
great.
Is the sky falling? Are we not the number one team in the NFC? But
no, right
but
now I'm trying to get out from under the sky because it's already fallen and it's all falling apart here at 8-2.
There's a lot of rubble around us at 8-2.
Got it.
Yeah. I want to get into first the conversation surrounding the quarterback because obviously a couple of the reports over the last couple of days, Diana Rossini coming out over the weekend on The Athletic, and then what Derek Gunn had to say. What is your understanding of the way that Hurts is perceived inside of that building right now?
Yeah, it's a pretty loaded question.
Mm-hmm.
I would say nobody's reputation or how they're perceived is universal, probably from like everyone within a building. I would say this: the reason there's frustration, and Diana said it on our show on The Athletic, because we do one together, and I get it, and I think what a lot of it is stemming from, really, is an offense that has more talent than 99% of the offenses in football, and it's not operating as a whole up to the standard of obviously that talent. And who gets the majority of the blame with that is the quarterback. And Jalen does things a specific way. I would say Jalen has a certain personality to him. His relationship with Jordan and the way that he has learned to win at all costs, which, it benefits him a lot. And maybe in some people's eyes, in that building, it rubs them the wrong way. My thought would be this: it's fascinating that we are critiquing Jalen Hurts the way we are, and the conversation continues when all the man does is win football games. And to me, I know everybody says it's a battle between are wins a quarterback stat or not. We can't have it both ways, though, when we evaluate quarterbacks. All we ever hear when we critique Lamar Jackson is he can't win the big game. He can't beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He's got 2 MVPs. Look at him during the regular season. He's outstanding. He can't win on the biggest stage. And all this guy does is win on the biggest stage. And then we critique him. So we can't have it both ways when we critique quarterbacks about whether they win games or not is a detriment if they don't do it, but we don't acknowledge it when they do it. And to me, I think Jalen does a pretty good job of finding ways to win within an offense that is having, and we can get into it, a variety of issues.
Yeah, I think that you hit the nail on the head when you say finding ways to win. That's at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. When you're trying to give credit and do whatever else, at the end of the day, he is out there performing to the best that he can given what is happening. And that's not to say that he's doing really well. We don't look at that Lions game and thought, wow, it was a really good game by Jalen Hurts.
For sure.
But it was a good enough game, and everything he does has been able to operate with everything hanging over him, which is an inexplicable offense. The offense is strange. There is no rhyme or reason to it. There's no consistency. You have no idea what's coming from one day to the next. And the fact that he's got this clearly strained relationship with one of the star receivers. Navigating all of that, I think, is maybe what's been more impressive when you think about it, James, because here's a guy that is doubted, constantly doubted all the time. And I think a lesser player or a player that wasn't as confident would have just folded by now.
Yeah, I think he plays his best when he's doubted, honestly. I think we all know the clip when he's walking in the tunnel, Super Bowl week,
right?
And he looks up at ESPN, and everybody's picked the Chiefs, and he kind of has a smirk. Like, I think he loves it, and I think he thrives in it. And I think, honestly, that's a quality you really want in your quarterback. And I just look at the way that they're built offensively, and to me, again, does it all fall on Jalen when it's not working? This is a run-first offense. That's the way the offense is built. It's built off of the run. Saquon Barkley's 38th in the NFL in yards per carry. Like, he had an enormous amount of yards before contact, with the offensive line doing their job outstanding last year, and they got all their explosive plays through the run. This group is really built, and Nick Sirianni has built it this way, and you can't really argue with it because we're kind of talking style points here because they win. When they run the football and they want to play really good defense, which this defense is becoming outstanding, and I think as the year goes on, it's going to get even better. They're 40-2 when they win the turnover battle. Jalen doesn't turn the football over. I mean, he is the best, and I know we want more touchdown passes. We want all this out of this offense. He is the best interception to touchdown ratio of any quarterback ever following a Super Bowl win. More than Mahomes in his next year, more than Brady in multiple years the next year, more than Rodgers in his next year. So he protects the football. They're just not running it well. The concepts, obviously, there's something to be desired there in terms of the route combinations. The concepts are guys getting over. I go back to a conversation I had, honestly, and this just popped into my head, with an offensive coordinator that I know that had an assignment during the offseason to really just evaluate the Eagles' offense. This happens in every building, and guys get assignments in the offseason to go look at other teams and see what they can steal and see what they can do. And essentially he told me this. The Eagles' offense is not overly complicated. It's not exotic. There's not unbelievable concepts that scheme guys open. He's like, you know what they are? They're just better than you at every position across the board. They're just more talented. So they just win every one-on-one. And that's a big reason why the Eagles win. They're super talented. But at the same time, what he's saying is what they do offensively is not overly complicated. It's not overly, exotic in terms of the schemes. And if guys aren't winning one-on-one, or there's disjointedness, or there's third and longs, or there's negative plays, they have a hard time getting themselves back on track. And I think we've seen that as an offense. But Jalen himself, I think, has done relatively good at his part, and he's one of the best deep ball passers in the football still, even though they haven't been what we're used to seeing.
You just covered what I wanted to get into about the national perception about their offense. So I want to flip sides real quickly with you on this defense, because what we've seen is something we're about to talk about, just comparing it to last season, just how good it was a year ago. There's a legitimate conversation to be had that it's just as good, if not better. What have you seen that's allowed and really unlocked this defense to get to a next level?
I mean, talking to people there, obviously Jalen Phillips, it's the low-hanging fruit right there, right? I mean, you get a player that knows the scheme. It might be, in my opinion, one of the most impactful midseason trades in recent memory thus far. The way he's been able to seamlessly just integrate himself into that defense, become really part of that pass rush that alters the way quarterbacks play. We've seen it now in a couple of games, and it's been outstanding. It allows them to rotate guys and be the pass rush that they love to have. And the interior guys have been, as dominant as we usually see them. But to me, it really, what's changed is the return of Nakobe Dean. He's been incredible. Like, he's been all over the field. You talk to people in that building, they'll tell you, he's the pulse of the defense. We can't take him off the field. He does so much for the way we operate defensively. I think that part in the middle is really a part that's going to change the way they play moving forward. Now, again, we're still going to look at that second corner. Obviously, you got Pickens and CeeDee Lamb coming in, which is, that's as good as a duo as you're going to see in football right now. It's the best duo we've seen in Dallas Cowboys history thus far in target yards per game. So, there's still maybe a hole or two that they're trying to figure out. But as a whole, it really has come together, and it's a great combination of talent and a coaching staff with Vic and his group that I know well are utilizing that personnel and talent really, really, really well.
Yeah, and everybody, they've come back so seamlessly, whether it's been coming back from injury or added pieces like guys like Jalen Phillips. That, to me, has probably been one of the more remarkable things, because when you add such Jalen Phillips gets here and then he's immediately thrust in that starting role and just shined in his 2 games here so far. And then you have Nakobe Dean, who comes back, and it's just there hasn't been that kind of, short runway where they needed to catch up. It's been instant. They've been all running at the same pace. Is that more on Vic Fangio, or is that just everybody else also just buying in?
I think it's really Vic. I've talked to so many players and covered him for so long that I think of what he does, and he has such a great understanding of, I know what you are as a player. I know what you do really, really well as a player, and I'm going to have you do that. I know it frustrates some guys in the past. There's been guys, I remember talking to Draymond Jones about it, who just got traded to Baltimore and was with him in Denver, and he was like, I want to get downfield. I want to rush the passer. Well, Vic was like, I don't know if that's really what you're best at. Until you show me you can really do that, I'm going to have you do the things that you're great at. And Vic's understanding of players and the rest of that staff as well, I think, who I think are all outstanding. That's a big part of getting these guys to play, and play fast and go, these are really the things, the work that they put in as a staff during the week. These are really the things I need you to focus on. And if they can narrow that down as a coaching staff, this is why coaching in the NFL is so important. Now I can tell you the 3 things you really got to worry about as, say, your Cooper DeJean or your Quinyon Mitchell. And this is what I need you to focus on. This is what I need you to do on Sunday. And that allows them to play really fast. But the point is, that's not equal across the board by player, if you get what I'm saying. There's a guy like Cooper DeJean where I can tell him 10 things that he needs to do really, really well on Sunday, and he can play fast knowing all 10. Player X might really play fast and need to know about 3 because that's what he plays best at. And I think that's where the coaching staff is really, really good about understanding what players can handle, understanding how they're used, and then understanding what makes them play really at their best level on Sunday. And I think this group is really, really good at it as a staff.
James, always a pleasure to talk to you. Get a chance to talk to you when the sky's falling again at 9-2 next week.
I think this is a tough one. I wouldn't be surprised if Philly dropped this one. This one is tough in Dallas. Dallas is really good at home. But who knows? I mean, all Jalen does is win.
That's
and
right.
We'll see if they get another one. Yep.
Oh, all right.
Good
So a
stuff.
little bit of uncertainty on the end there. James, I appreciate you joining us. Of course, you can catch James on Scoop City, all the wonderful work he does for Bleacher Report, and on the 89 podcast with Steve Smith. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, you take care.
James Palmer on the Comcast Business Hotline. How about that at the end? Just dropping a little bit, I'm not so sure about this weekend.
I mean, if you're looking at it, he mentioned it with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. It is a very dynamic duo down there.
Well, let's get into a little bit of the defense
Shall we?
against that offense, because this defense, we're going to start with the big picture, and then we'll hone in on what could be the final test to show us just how good this defense is and just if the final hole has been kind of patched up for this defense. We'll start with the big question. Is it better than the defense we saw a season ago? Is it the best defense we've seen in the Sirianni era?
Yes, my answer to that is I think when at this point in the season, for them to be as good as they are. Now, last year they finished so well, and we were probably like 10, 11 weeks into the season. We thought, wow, this is a pretty good defense, and they could finish the season at top 15. That was a pretty good standard, we thought. And then, of course, they finished and they were number 1 defense, and they saw them really come to themselves. But what Scott was just talking about, when you've got pieces of guys, whether they're coming back or joining this, that they're able to blend so seamlessly and be so successful, I think that's what already makes them a better defense. Like, I think personnel-wise, you look at last year, and obviously you're missing guys like Josh Sweat, and you're missing Darius Slay.
Well, yeah, we have to get to that comparison. We'll break that down coming up.
Oh,
we get
I
into
know.
the
I looked
defense
ahead
here.
on the show sheet, my bad.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's all
Okay.
right. Hey, listen, you're giving people that's a proper tease right there. They're getting a little bit of the content that's coming up right
Businessman.
next. Yeah, we got it. Alongside with Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. We're getting to the defense coming up next here on Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles' offense has been inconsistent so far this season, and Jalen Hurts spoke to the media yesterday about how each game has been different throughout the course of the year. Give a listen.
I think over the course of the year, we've gone out there and played different styles of games, and almost all of the games, it's about sitting in something, committing to it, and then going out there and saying, this is what we're going to do.
Yesterday at Eagles practice, Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson did not practice. Jalen Phillips was limited with a shoulder injury. James Palmer from The Athletic just joined the show. You can listen to that interview on 97.5thefanatic.com. Last night, the 76ers fell to the Raptors 121-112. They'll be back on the court tonight in Milwaukee without Giannis. Tip-off is for 8 p.m. You can listen right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And the Flyers are back after having a few days off from the ice. They will face the St. Louis Blues again, but this time down in South Philly. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. You can listen on 93.3 WMMR. This update is brought to you by Indeed.com. Stop just hoping that the right applicants find your job. Sponsor it on Indeed and match with quality talent. Start at Indeed.com/credit. Again, that's Indeed.com/credit. I'm Austin Jones in your home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Welcome back. Middays with Marks. WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities alongside Amy Fadula. I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through the show today. And we got into, unsurprisingly, the Eagles offense in the first hour. Thanks again to James Palmer for joining us in the last segment there. But I do want to move to the defense because it's been like, I feel like this week has been we're going to praise the defense. We're going to praise the defense. We're going to praise the defense. And like, it's the ultimate tease that you never pay off because you're like, yeah, I want to talk about this defense. I want to talk about this defense. I want to talk about this defense. And then by the time you actually get to start talking about the defense, it's like, oh, another big thing came out about the offense, about the quarterback, about a wide receiver, about something else. And we end up getting distracted and take away from it. So I actually want to like nail down and speak about this defense. Okay. And Zach Berman, I believe it's his 8 takeaways that he puts together each week. I believe 8 is the number. But I always love reading Berman stuff on The Athletic, and especially the takeaways every week. And he posed the question. This is the first takeaway leading up to Dallas week. The 2024 Eagles won the Super Bowl, perhaps the NFL's top defense. It seemed there might be regression this year, given the departures on all 3 levels, plus natural year-to-year variance in defensive performance. And it looked like that was the case. After watching the last 2 weeks, I think the 2025 defense ends up better than the 2024 group. Now, I'm a natural skeptic. Can you tell that I got into an industry that kind of rewards that one? Yeah. Naturally, I'm skeptical. Why should I say that this defense is better? Now, I go through the reasoning that's put together here, and you know, I think Zach does a tremendous job breaking down exactly what he likes and what might hamper it from the group last year. Last year's pass rush, we remember the Super Bowl. We don't necessarily remember they were middle of the pack all season long. They were like 15th or 16th when it came to pass rushing last year in terms of sacks. Pressures were there, sure, but they were kind of middle of the pack in terms of getting results there. We remember the linebackers from a season ago because it inspired them to finally pay a linebacker. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Grateful for Zach Bond every single day.
And they drafted one, too.
And the secondary was what the secondary was. And you know, I was belly aching over CJGJ for a while this offseason. I've stopped. I've given up. You know, we've seen how it all worked out for him. And I think we were working together the day that he got released. And it was do I think that peak CJGJ is still greater than peak Makuba right now? Sure, I do. I don't necessarily think that I have a desire to say I'm way.
Yeah. It's not super definitive.
Yeah, to the CJGJ side of things. Secondary, Dory Jackson versus Darius Slay. You give the bump to Slay for last year. Mm-hmm. But that's the only position on this defense where I could say, hey, that's definitively better from a season ago. Quinyon Mitchell's a better player this year. Cooper DeJean's a better player this year. Reed Blankenship. I have long been a critic of the guy. I think he has shown that he can at least be the foundation of a safety group where he could be potentially the best safety of a safety tandem, which I didn't think was something he had in his capabilities. That defensive front, Jomo versus Williams. I know Williams got $104 million, and it's wild to say it. Jomo, I like his game alongside Carter. Carter has turned into the player that they envisioned being.
Correct.
Peloton Davis, Slim JD, he's having himself a season. Look at that linebacker group.
Oh.
You want what? Oren Burks as compared to Jahan Campbell? Like,
that's not even, stop.
Like, again, so, like, I look at this group, and as much as I want to be a skeptic about it, and as much as I don't want to get swept up in what I've seen over the last 2 weeks, what we've seen over the last 2 weeks has been sheer dominance. And people can write off the Packers game and look at what Jordan Love, how crappy he was, and people can throw that in my face.
Those are 2 good teams, 2 good NFC teams. Lions and the Packers.
I mean, those are 2 of the teams, if you came into the season, the betting favorites to contend in the NFC with the Eagles. It's hard for me right now, and it is prisoner of the moment, but it's hard for me right now to ignore the feeling that we could be watching something that somehow is even better. It's very, very rare you see a team be a top 5 defense back-to-back seasons. It's very rare. And given all the personnel that left, you would think that there was no shot of it.
Well, especially when the season started, and you mentioned the pass rush, which was good last year, but not, dominant. And there was definitely some questions going into the season, and then even after the season started, as far as how much are they going to miss Josh Sweat? But that's a big glaring hole. And then they make the trade for Jalen Phillips, and you think, okay, well, there we go. And remember, there was guys that were retiring. The guys left football. Za'Darius left football.
Yes.
Oh gosh, is it that bad that people are literally deciding to do anything else besides? And that obviously wasn't the case. It was a personal move. His heart wasn't in it. And I appreciate the players that recognize that and think, I don't want to be putting myself out there, because obviously it's a very dangerous thing if you're not completely into it. But I just think that to me is one of the reasons that I say that they are better, is because it was a good pass rush and the defensive front was good last year. But I think they're very good this year. And I think they only got better. It was a hole, and they addressed it and filled it in the most remarkable way. A guy that he still has 1 year left on his rookie deal. It's crazy. It goes back to when people talk about the league, around the league, and they say something about Howie Roseman. People shake their heads and just think, how does he keep doing this?
It's amazing, because he basically went in, and I was as critical as anyone of this defense doesn't look complete through the first beginning of the season.
And they didn't.
And they didn't. And yet they were able to address it, and he's thrown pretty much every dart in the dartboard to try and address that cornerback room. And I think at some point we might end up seeing the world where Michael Carter is your slot corner and Cooper Jean kicks to the outside. And even if they do that,
eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Even if they do that, this defense appears to be better than what they were a season ago when they were the NFL's top defense and won a Super Bowl on the strength of what that defense was. And that's an incredible thing to say, given all the personnel departures. But I know that there are skeptics like me. And I like to be grounded by the skeptics. I like to have people that are like, Ray, you're getting carried away on this one.
Don't get too excited.
Right. So for those of you that hear me say that and have the concern, I'm curious to hear from you at 610-632-0975 as to whether you could go fully to that world. Because I'm reading Zach Berman, and I'm obviously thinking about it myself and trying to balance my skepticism with the optimism I like to keep with these teams. And I think the optimism totally outweighs this, because back-to-back weeks, there are factors you could throw in there. Love not having himself a good game. Goff in the weather.
Maybe he didn't have a good game because the defense was that good.
Right. You don't really shut down two of the top teams in the NFCs and their offenses like that back-to-back weeks without it being something legitimate. And they've played such a difficult schedule to this point, and we've seen them. There were halves in which they allowed, the Rams, the Buccaneers to get going, but when they needed to shut down and when they needed to get the turnovers, they found it.
Yeah, especially late. And I think that's been, for all the warts that you see on the offense, it's so much more amplified when you look how good the defense is, because they've had to be out there so often after 3 and outs.
Yep. And that's also it. They haven't been put in good spots at all by this offense.
No.
This offense has put it in very, very precarious situations.
Late, and you're asked to play, that many more minutes, that many more snaps, that many more series, because your offense is just not able to get anything going. There's no sustained drives on the offense. There's no, hey, we started at the 25, we got to march all the way down. No, you started at the 25 and you finished at the 30, and that's it.
So, Bo Allen was on with Chris Long following Eagles-Lions. And he has said something about this defense not being able to be exposed anywhere. And I want to take this to Sunday, because are we going to see the last remaining question for this defense answered one way or another come Sunday? Because we know what the Cowboys have in terms of an aerial attack. We'll get to that coming up. That's going up next year. You can jump in on whether or not this defense is better. Is this the best defense of the Sirianni era? I mean, if we're talking that, then we got to start talking about whether it could be the best that we've seen in the 21st century, just because that's what we're talking about with the 2024 group. And that's just how impressive it's been. But are we going to have the final answer of what this defense is coming up on Sunday against this Cowboys offense? We'll get to that coming up here on Middays with Marks. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And hey, it is Ray Dunn here for LennyWins.com, your number one source for professional sports betting insights since 2002. With over 20 years of winning success, Lenny's team is ready to put your money to work. Last week, they hammered the books about college and pro football. Thursday, they gave you the under in the Jets-Patriots game. Friday, they gave you another outright underdog winner with Clemson. Saturday, Lenny Wins beat the books once again with upset winner Virginia. Tonight, the Buffalo Bills play the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium, and they're giving everyone access to their NFL best bet for Thursday night for free. All you need to do is text WIN to 72761. Free NFL blow-up point spread winner. Text WIN to 72761. That's keyword WIN to 72761. Stop losing and start winning big with Lucky Lenny. Free Bills Texans winner. Text keyword win to 72761, and they'll see you guys in the winning circle.
John
Fanatic alongside Amy Fadula. I'm Ray Dunn. And Amy, we do have an update to something from a week ago. You remember in the news at noon with Patricia last week,
Yes.
the taco conversation from Cam
Yes.
Scadabo. He is not one that allows himself to be dominated by the taco. So if you guys, because apparently he's now been streaming, which I don't know if you've seen this. This is a gold mine.
I have not.
Great clips so far I've seen.
Cam Scadabo right now has been absolute gold off the field. And by gold, I mean for everyone that's not the New York Giants. He has been absolutely tremendous. Obviously, wish him the best with the injury. But since the injury, what you were impressed by on the field is secondary to just how good he's been in his work off the field right now.
Which is impressive.
Last week, he posed the very philosophical question of who is the dominant force when eating a taco. Is it you or the taco? Because
Right.
do you turn your head to eat the taco, or do you turn the taco to eat
But you cannot.
the taco? No, the taco, you dominate the taco.
You cannot turn the taco.
Yes, you can.
It all falls out.
No, he was able to pull it off.
I understand that.
I got someone on actually TikTok tagged me in a video of him eating the taco to show me that there was an update to this. So I appreciate Marshall who did that for me. And I'm just going to run you through a little bit of what Cam Scadabo's been up to. Monday night, WWE, right? I'm not.
Yes, we all remember.
Yes. Well, listen, I don't know. There's a couple. There's AEW. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't.
Monday Night Raw.
Right. I assumed it was Monday Night Raw, but I'm not very tapped into the wrestling game, and I know those that are in the wrestling game. If I got it wrong, I was trying to preface if I was wrong, like I was giving myself an exit out the back door of like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend. But yeah, so Monday Night Raw, he's there, and he gets in the whole scuffle, which had everyone upset. Now, apparently, he's doing so well in streaming, he got to 10K subscriptions. And, as a streamer, you have to celebrate that. And as just pretty much a content creator, you have to celebrate 10,000 followers. I don't know if I'll ever feel that joy, but at some point, I will try to give some sort of celebration like he did, because I don't know if you saw this. Did you see how he celebrated 10,000?
Yeah, I seen it.
Did you see it, Amy?
No, I did not see it.
He took an energy drink and poured
I
it
did
into
see
a
this.
game-worn
The
cleat
That was disgusting.
and drank it.
I did see that. Sorry.
What's worse, the energy drink or the drinking out of the cleat?
Drinking out of
The
a
cleat.
A cleat.
Like, it's not sanitary at all. You just know it.
Oh,
That thing could be right out of the box and it's still going to be questionable. But the fact that it had been a worn cleat,
what is the fascination with drinking out of a shoe?
it's a thing.
It's a German thing, ain't it?
Is it?
Is it?
I remember the movie.
I always thought it
remember
was like
the
a
movie,
soccer thing.
I remember the movie Beer Fest where they had to drink out the glass boot.
Yeah,
well,
that
the
was
glass
that's
boot,
like a
is,
boot.
is different
I
than
feel like
the
it was like-
actual
shoe.
boot.
Yeah.
That's true.
These are actual shoes.
Right. I'm just curious what the fascination is with drinking out of a boot and drinking out of a shoe. Like, I've never once had the thought. I know people who have done it, and I know there's been a case if this happens, I'll do it. And kind of the macho machismo. Yeah, if this happens, I'll drink out of a shoe. But can someone explain that to me? Is there anyone? Maybe this is a question for feedback, which is, by the way, our last segment of the show, feedback. You get in 97.5 feedback at 975thefanatic.com, or you could get in our text line 610-632-0975 and explain to me what exactly the
It's Australian.
phenomenon. It's Australian? So
They call it a shoey, right?
shoey?
Yeah, like a shoey. I always thought it was a soccer thing, but I don't think it's a soccer thing.
Rugby thing, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, shoey. That I know.
This practice is often associated with sports, particularly since Formula One driver popularized it globally after his race wins.
I did not see the Formula One. I did
see.
not have
The
that.
practice has roots in. This is all AI, by the way. This is an AI overview of the shoey, so I could be totally off base here.
I just feel like this is a terrible idea because shoes carry a lot.
While we're on the
lot of-
topic of bad ideas and AI, I'm going to ask,
yes.
please stop with the
know.
cigarette smoking AI videos of photos of me. I'm begging you. Please stop. I don't know how many were tweeted at me, sent to me, texted to me. I know if Bayless on Twitter had went a step further and had me with a bong. Like, I need everyone to. No, I'm not. See, now we got Nate on our call screen saying I need to do a shoey. I'm not drinking out of a shoe. I'm not drinking out of a shoe. Shoes are gross. Shoes belong on the feet. This everything has a purpose in this life, and for the shoe, it should be on the feet. All right. But no, I'm out on the shoey for myself. If shoeys are your thing, more power to you.
The thought process is that maybe the alcohol kills whatever you might
No,
ingest.
no, absolutely not. But yes, please stop with the AI
But,
photos of me smoking cigarettes.
I like that it's an F1 tradition. There's somebody with their little tiny shoes that they wear because they have to wear shoes that are really small for the pedals. Can't wear boots or whatever, but they have to be safe. They took off one of their little tiny shoes and thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put some champagne in this and take it to the face.
You know what you could do? Just drink the champagne out of the bottle.
No cane. Well, this is also a sport that drinks milk after one of their events. So they got a lot
Do
going
the
on.
F1 racers also do that? Are they also milk post-race?
No, that's just the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, that's not. Is that?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you're going to catch me here. That's F1?
That's open wheel racing, yes.
Well, is it F1? I feel like they're a little bit different here. The F1 that I'm
You
familiar
almost
with
said
is.
NASCAR.
Well,
And then it's-
NASCAR's not the milk?
No.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. F1 is champagne. All right. That's on me. Do I look like someone that's into racing?
No, but that's a pretty famous thing, drinking milk on the Brickyard.
Well, I'm drinking milk because never been to Indianapolis. You got
Neither have, well, I've been there, but never for that.
I don't know. You watched the Indy 500?
No.
All right.
Yeah.
I watched the new F1 movie. That was a good movie.
Yeah, but
You
you
haven't
guys have
seen it?
seen the tradition, right?
Yeah, I assumed that was a NASCAR thing. I thought the milk thing was a NASCAR thing.
I
My auto
It's like Michael
racing,
Schumacher does it.
my auto racing understanding is Talladega Nights. That's it.
Well, that's actually
That's all
not
I
far
got.
off, to be honest.
Is it?
not- I mean, it's.
Isn't that supposed to be NASCAR? Doesn't he drink milk in that?
You mean in general?
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about pouring into the cereal. I'm saying that's to celebrate a race.
It's an Indy 500 thing. At you have the Brickyard. You get down there, someone hands you whole milk, and you drink
Wow,
it.
my entire life has been changed here.
I don't think that it's another race. I'm not as familiar with all the open wheel racing traditions, but I'm pretty sure it's just an Indy 500.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, clearly I'm not.
Someone's going to be out there and be like, no, they also do it at California, but I don't think they do.
Well, I'm sure someone else does it. They stole it from the Indy 500 and try to make their own thing.
I think that it is the only thing.
Wow, this is life-changing for me. I had no idea.
Yes, the Indy 500 milk tradition began in 1936 when three-time winner Louis Meyer drank a bottle of buttermilk to rehydrate after the race. A local dairy executive saw it, and then it became a thing.
No, you don't rehydrate with milk, especially buttermilk.
Wow.
We all kind of had that, but apparently that was it. It was 1936. Okay, the man maybe wasn't as important.
Oh.
But yes,
all right.
it's an Indy 500 thing.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
The more you know.
The more
Milk
I
was
learn
a
here
bad
today.
choice.
The milk was a bad choice.
What would you drink out of a shoe?
The answer is
Not
obvious.
milk. Not milk.
Oh God! Can you imagine anything worse than that?
No, I can't.
The alcohol, at least, you would have some semblance of it burning down your throat, so you would forget the fact that you were consuming it from footwear.
Yeah.
But milk would have just a real pungent carry. Oh gosh, no.
All right.
This
This is a good one for feedback because this is clearly a gap in my sports knowledge that I just found. What is something? And the answer here is the wrong answer is what I want here. The obvious answer. What is something that I also am not familiar with? If I'm not familiar with milk being an Indy 500 thing, what other gaps in my sports knowledge must exist? And you can get it on that 610-632-0975 because now I just associate it with NASCAR, and that's on me for not differentiating my.
Ricky Bobby would never.
Ricky Bobby would for sure.
Milk was a bad choice.
Ricky Bobby for sure would. Great movie. All right. We're going to get back to the whole defense and what's successful with the Eagles defense. Started with the shoey and got all the way down to drinking milk at the Indy 500. Can we see the last remaining question mark with this Eagles team be answered on Sunday? We will get to Bo Allen talking about this defense not being able to be exposed coming up next. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles offense has been inconsistent so far this season, even though they sit at 8-2 on the year. Quarterback Jalen Hurts spoke to the media yesterday about how each game has been different so far.
I think over the course of the year, we've gone out there and played different styles of games, and almost all of the games, it's about sitting in something, committing to it, and then going out there and saying, this is what we're going to do.
Yesterday at Eagles practice, Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson did not practice, and Jalen Phillips was limited with a shoulder injury. Last night, the 76ers fell to the Toronto Raptors 121-112. They'll be back on the court tonight in Milwaukee without Giannis to face the Bucks. Tip-off is for 8 p.m., and you can listen right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers are back on the ice after having a few off days. They'll face the St. Louis Blues again, this time down in South Philly. Puck drop is for 7 p.m. You can listen on our sister station, 93.3 WMMR. And this update's also brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find so many holiday essentials, all for under $25. Don't wait and find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5TheFanatic.com.
Fanatics here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Ray Dunn alongside Amy Fadul. Very, very insecure right now about this mic after the way it popped off last
kinda
hour.
going crazy. You don't want to move it too much.
No, I don't. And maybe I'm a little. I know someone in the YouTube chat was like, "You're too squirmy to be on radio. You move around too much." I think a couple weeks ago, probably still during makeshift middays run, someone had said that in the YouTube chat, and I was like, I do like to move around a little bit. I feel kind of the stationary sitting's not one for me. I'm not a very in one
Sit
place
still?
type of guy. You know,
No.
if you ever watch me call a game, I'm moving
Constantly
constantly in action. I
Interesting.
need a lot of space. In there, I'm constantly in action. It doesn't help that these chairs are on wheels.
Yeah, and then you can kind of like move around a little.
And also, I feel like giving energy, you got to give some energy, you know?
You gotta have physical energy.
Yeah, add physical energy to it. I'm not going to put my energy into what's happening in the YouTube chat right now. They're debating Star Wars movies, and I could go down that tangent, but we would be stuck there for 4 hours, so I'm not going down that path. We're going back to the Eagles defense here. And Bo Allen with Chris Long on his podcast, I believe their post-game reaction to Sunday Night Football, got into the Eagles defense and talked about the fact that he doesn't believe there's anything you could expose right now.
This is a much more exciting kind of defensive win than the one in Green Bay. And there's, a lot of similar circumstances like cold weather games, windy, like that. But like, if you just look at the defense at a macro level, I'm not seeing any area at all where there is a weakness. And I think that's really what you want at this phase of the season. Like, it feels like they're firing on all cylinders, man. And like, I'm just kind of going through, and it's like, you just don't feel like any level of the defense is going to be exposed.
And I think the final test for that is this weekend.
Yeah, because of the dynamic duo in receiving.
Right. We were together the day after Eagles-Cowboys. Thursday Night Football to open the season.
Correctamundo.
We reacted to, the first spitgate of NFL 2025 season. Not the only. Now we have to say it was the first. I can't call it spitgate because now there's been a second one here this season in the NFL. But the first one, we reacted to Jalen Carter. We reacted to what he couldn't do. We reacted to an offense that went stagnant in the second half. That was a spoiler for the rest of the season.
Exactly, wasn't it, though?
And we also reacted to the fact that in the first half, we felt that we were learning a lot more about what number Adoree Jackson wore than anything about his abilities to play corner. And to his credit, last couple of weeks, he's been solid. And, Jameson Williams aside, there was one play, he got burned, and he's not going to be the only guy this year that gets burned by Jameson Williams. So you look at it and you say, okay, he's been pretty good. I don't know if you've heard, but John Marks has started the Adoree Jackson fan club. He is the president. He is the leader of it. So I don't want to, kind of disparage Adoree Jackson on the official flagship program of the Adoree Jackson fan club. But I feel like this is the weekend we find out if this secondary is all locked down, not something that could be exposed, if the final hole of this defense has been patched up.
Yeah, I think that the important language there when those guys were talking was that be exposed. Like, you're going to have games where teams are going to be able to move the ball on you. It's not impenetrable.
Right.
You're going to have because these are dynamic receivers. CeeDee Lamb is one of the top receivers. I think this was actually when you saw the move from George Pickens to go from the Steelers to the Cowboys. You thought, wow, that's actually a really good move because he does fit in so well with CeeDee Lamb to be able to play alongside him. So it was actually really, it was a good move. And you thought, oh. So I think that you're going to be able to move the ball at times against them. It's the bend, don't break, the no, don't give up that really just blatant miscommunication that we saw certainly in the beginning of the season at times, and then last year as well at times where you would look over the top and there was no safety help over the top. There was just a wide receiver running free, and there was nobody within 5 yards of him. So it was an easy kind of grab, easy touchdown. I don't think you're going to see that. Even if teams are going to be able to move the ball, it's going to be hard-earned yardage with these receivers every single time because of how that secondary. And Adoree Jackson being the exception, but everybody else, it's pretty, it's a much improved unit from last year, with the exception, I think, of Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, I think Makuba's been getting better as the season's gone along. I think he's got better over the last couple of weeks.
It's a lot of the scheme, too. I think that they realize there's certain deficiencies or things that aren't as good as they could be, and I think they make up for it.
And so the question really becomes, does it even matter? This is a two-pronged approach to what we're talking about with defense here. Is this the final test for this secondary to kind of put that idea to bed with Bo Allen that they can't be exposed, that there is no exposure there? And the only reason why I say it doesn't even matter if this is the final test, we have not yet seen the last arrangement of that secondary that can come down.
Right.
Like, Jacorian Bennett, there were injury concerns before he got here. He got here. He got injured. It's probably wrong for me to write him off based on injury, but if your career has been defined by it, I'm not going to sit there and say I bank on him being the outside corner starting for this team.
Yeah, no.
The other alignment that we could talk about, and that it kind of seems like Fangio has slowly started to open up the door of possibilities. I'm not saying that the door's wide open. I'm not saying it's the way they should go, but when you trade for a guy in the slot, and I believe I think it was Howie Roseman that used the word elite when describing Michael Carter as a slot corner. Elite's a very strong word.
It's a strong word.
Yes. I tend not to use elite a lot in life. I don't describe many things as elite. Adele Rossi's cheesesteak, elite. I'll use it there.
Okay.
Let's see. What else is a very a good like a cannoli from down Italian market? That's elite. There are very few things. Usually comes back to food with me.
I could tell.
Kyle Schwarber, elite power hitter. Like that has to be that level of which I would use the word elite. To use the word elite about the slot corner you acquired makes me question why you would acquire one when you have one. And I kept asking that question. It was shot down early, and it just seems like if this whole Dory Jackson thing doesn't work out, Cooper DeJean kicking on the outside isn't so out of the realm of possibilities. I think Vic Fangio cut open the possibility last week to hey, yeah, maybe we would. Dory Jackson's played well enough to stave that off. This week is the final test to see if this defense can be exposed by someone, to me, because it's not so much that I think Dak is all-world, MVP. I saw someone yesterday talk about how it's a legacy game for him, but I think it's the final test for me to look and say, okay, is there one spot of this defense that still gives me cause for pause? Because I feel good about the front. I feel great about the linebackers. It's really the secondary that I have two elite corners. I like my safety tandem. Is that second corner, that outside corner, still a hole in this defense? Is it still something we have to address? Or am I going to feel pretty secure for the rest of the season?
I think it's something you feel like you probably still have to address at some point, but it's not as glaring. You're not going to be exposed in a way that's going to be detrimental to the rest of that defense. They're not going to. Yes, they're going to attack the other corner. There's no doubt. You wouldn't be doing your job as an NFL offense if you didn't try to go at a weak link.
Well, it's been weird also that the teams have gone after Quinyon. Like, that feels really stupid to me. You know? It's like me trying to dunk on a 7-footer.
It's not going to go well.
It's not going to go well. No. I mean, actually, forget the 7-footer. It's like me trying to dunk.
I was going to say, you probably could have taken the qualifier out of that.
Me trying to drive on a 7-footer. There you go.
Play basketball against them with success.
It's me taking to the basketball court in general.
Unless it's Ricky. Because then we know, knockout, you will beat him. Fair and square. Fair and square.
Something about sitting in this studio from 10 to 2. You'd like to drum up drama between Ricky Bo and I. Because John loves to do it. I mean, I did beat. I did. I mean, I
know, fair and square.
Yes.
Fair
By the way, our guy Keith called in yesterday. He's got the footage of Bill cheating last year in knockout too. So Keith is going to get me that footage. So we'll have that by March.
How did Bill cheat?
Bill knocked away the basketball that would have been given to me when we were the last two.
I think I remember seeing that.
Yes, when we were the last two staff members in. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not upset about it. I just wouldn't go peacocking around here like I'm some sort of champion if I had played that way. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways.
But yes, I don't think that that's whatever the secondary has as far as issues, it's not going to be exposed in a way that is going to be detrimental. I just don't think that is. They're not built that way. They don't operate that way. And even though there is a bit of a weaker link on the other corner side, which we've known about, it's been fine. You do worry about it this weekend, but I don't think it's going to be to the tune of. It's not like those two guys and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are going to combine for 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. No, that's not going to happen.
Knocking on wood there.
That's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. And I think one of the things is because you have a very good pass rush and your linebacking is so much better, it takes the pressure off of that secondary. It really does because you're getting so much pressure up front. There's not as much time for the ball to come out.
All right. Coming up, I want to get to the stove a little bit. Stove's warm.
Warm
it's warm. The stove is warmed up a little bit. I want to get to some baseball conversation. Scott Lauber joined the morning show today and said a couple of things that I found quite interesting, starting with the catcher position, which I asked him later on in the show about, and Also, the number of position player changes across the board. The answer a little bit higher than I anticipated. We'll get to that coming up next. You're tuned in to Middays with Marks right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And I want to tell you about every NFL Thursday, because every NFL Thursday, every time you tune in to a Thursday night game, you've got a chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge. Because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. That's right, $2 million in bonus bets, your share of it each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. If your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Now, tonight's game, Texans-Bills, actually might give you a good Thursday night game. Maybe. Hopefully. Finally. Maybe not. Probably not, because C.J. Stroud's not playing. But the two teams on paper give you the idea you might get a good game. I'm not banking on entirely. What I'm banking on, James Cook to score an anytime touchdown. And I think he's going to score the last touchdown of the game, because I think he's going to put the Bills out of reach for this Texans team late in that game, rushing for a touchdown. If he scores the first or last touchdown of the game, I would win. That bet plus a share of bonus bets would be great. All you got to do is visit FanDuel.com/endzone. That's FanDuel.com/endzone for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. You play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. It's 1-1 plus the President of Pennsylvania. Opt-in, must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool will be split equally amongst all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawal bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Middays with Marks here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn in for Johnny Marks. Austin Jones produced the program. Austin's got News at Noon coming up in 15 minutes' time. So, no pressure or anything. I have to say the YouTube chat's been quite kind today to Austin. They've been kind of thrilled with the performance that Austin's put together here.
They're liking me today, but they will never let me live down, again, the Chris Long episode.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a tough one. you've made me better as a producer because I've been more inclined to triple check every piece of audio that I cut to make sure.
I was here that day. It was like, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those, like, it's also a formative moment as a host is how you move past and how you move on. Austin, we love you. All right?
We believe in you.
We believe in you.
Thanks, guys.
And I hope that you did not choose any clips for News at Noon that include any sort of FCC non-compliant language.
I've checked multiple times. I think we're in the clear.
Okay.
All right.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I'm a little worried about you. Now, before we switch gears fully to the Phillies here, I want to quickly get our guy in here. Dr. Matt Elf checking in. Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Morning, guys. I sort of have a question in my mind watching the season thus far, and I'm wondering, do you think that Sirianni and Patullo are as worried about this offense as we are? I
would
don't know
hope.
if they don't.
Yes.
I would hope.
Yes.
It would seem as much.
Do they recognize the problems and just can't figure out how to fix it?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, well, that's what I think, and that makes me nervous.
Yeah. No, listen to Patullo talk makes me just about as nervous as anyone when it comes to finding answers for this offense.
Doesn't seem to have them.
We didn't play it earlier. Maybe we'll get to it at the 12 o'clock hour. I'll play the clip that had me terrified, Greg, and we can both freak out together. I do want to ask, I did introduce you there as Dr. Matt Elf. It's been pointed out to me by the YouTube chat. It's almost Matt Elf season.
It is almost Matt Elf season.
Have you begun to stock up?
Currently, it's Tennessee Honey.
Oh, all right. Little Tennessee honey. Wow. All right. Not bad. Not bad selection for you.
Maybe he has to wait until December 1st.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, yeah, is it like Christmas music for you? You got to wait?
Black Friday.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten in the mood for it yet. My wife introduced me to Tennessee Honey a month ago, and I've been enjoying that.
I can't disagree with you on that. I don't think that's a bad choice by you. I was just curious when exactly Mad Elf season starts for you.
Well, I mean, it could start now. My distributor called me and said they have some, but
whoa! Time out.
Wow.
You're telling me the distributor gives you a call to let you know that the Mad Elf is in stock?
That's
absolutely.
Of course.
I'm in the pipeline.
Greg, I want to live life as well as you have.
Not only does he have a distributor that obviously that he goes to, which a lot of people do. You go to the same beer store, whatever.
Right.
They're on such a good relationship. They've exchanged numbers, and it's like, hey,
and it's a phone call.
Guess what we got?
I mean, that's really good sales.
Up.
That's really good sales by them. I feel like I've kind of missed out on that one. You know, like, or at least people have missed out on sales with me in that regard. Like, if you called me and said, hey, this is in stock, it makes me that much more likely to go and purchase whatever it is. And booze is what I'm talking about here in general. Like, like, there's a couple of breweries I frequent down, around where I'm from. Shockingly, I know.
Yep.
No one expects that of me. I never talk about it. If they gave me a call and were like, we have this in stock, I would be more inclined to go purchase it. They've got Greg kind of figured out.
I mean, I don't say kinda.
I'm saying kind of to be kind here. They've got him totally figured out. That's awesome, though. I want to be
I just like he casually drops it. It's just like, oh yeah, well my distributor will call me when they've got it in.
The distributor. So for those that don't understand what just happened here, Greg from Bethlehem, Dr. Mad Elf, as he's so affectionately called here, has called in sometimes after a few Mad Elves. He's
a stronger beverage.
Yeah, it's a strong percentage. We talked about this so much with him last year during the holiday season. Actually, for Christmas, my parents went out and purchased Mad Elves so that my dad, brother, and I could indulge in a Mad Elf. And yeah, it's a pretty strong beverage. Pretty good. I enjoyed it. Greg now apparently has the distributor calling him to alert him that it's in stock.
Well, and I think you have to think about the progress of how that happened. So year after year, Mad Elf tends to come out the holiday time.
Right.
It's not a summer beer. So every late November, this gentleman, Greg, would walk through and probably buy a bunch
right.
every year. And after, at what point was it, the third year? Or was it the first year after buying several cases or whatever it was, and he came in to look for it and it was gone? The distributor's like, I got it.
He was stocked up almost to St. Patrick's Day last year, if I remember. So, like, he buys enough of it where it might have only been
There you
one
go. So
one
just
season.
the one time, and they were like, all right. And the guy probably gave him a heads up after coming in, repeatedly. Just so you know, this is going to go away in whatever time frame.
It's impressive. It's impressive.
Love it.
Like, yeah, Trogs, where you at? Like, let's talk a little bit, huh? Let's talk a little bit about some Mad Elves around here. All right? Real quick, going to the hot stove here, because I did not expect us to go down the cold beer rabbit hole. I should have when I brought Greg up. That's on me.
I did not know that there was going to be a call from a distributor.
I want to go to Scott Lauber 1 here, Austin, about the over-under of 3.5 position players being changed over from year to year. Take a listen to Scott Lauber this morning on with Kincade and Salciunas.
I think Nick Castellanos is good as gone. Dombrowski has basically said that. He said that he talked with them after the season, and kind of the message was a change of scenery is good for everyone. So right away, that's one off your list. They're not going to bring back, I don't think, all three of Schwarber, Realmuto, Bader. So that's probably another one off the list. I mean, do you count Max Kepler because he's not coming back? Do you count, so that's three. You're right on that number, and it's probably going to be right around that number if you're talking about regular players or everyday guys. That's probably what you're looking at. I would say over, but, I could see it coming in right around 3 as well.
So 3.5 was the over-under that was handed to Scott Lauber for position players to change over, for regulars. I don't count Max Kepler.
No,
as a regular. Max Kepler and Nick
regular,
Castellanos actually, to me, count as one.
No.
But they were a platoon. They count as one. That's one position changing. That's one position changing. They were a platoon. By the end of the season, they were right
By the
field.
end of the season, well, probably Kepler played more routinely.
Okay, so if you count Bader, you can't count Bader, Kepler, and Castellanos. When was that ever the outfield alignment?
Something has gone horribly wrong.
Right.
I don't want to.
That's what I mean. So you count that as 2. That's 2 outfield positions changing.
Okay.
Right. I don't feel like I'm being unreasonable here.
Sure. So that's 2. So
that's 2.
2 outfield positions, which I think you asked me last week, or was it the week before?
Right. The over under 1.5. Yeah.
And I took the over because I thought 2 was it.
Yeah. No, and I think so. There's 2. Question is anywhere else on the field. You expect Schwarber, you expect Realmuto.
Right.
Can they run it back with this infield?
Third base, I think, was another question people thought about.
Or second.
Or some variation thereof. One of those
2.
Left side of the infield.
One of those 2. One of third or second feels like
maybe
it
a
should
movement. Maybe you move somebody somewhere.
Yes. We're gonna get to sliding around the shortstop again. Oh, brother.
It's going to happen. That conversation is going to happen.
Not this year.
No, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, eventually.
You don't think it's going to happen at any point this upcoming season, that conversation?
Oh, we'll have it on the air. Of course we'll have it. He's going to make an error in April. No, April, we're still talking about the draft because it needs to take up a full 4 hours of whether or not we should move him. Probably the, late May error. Once we've done it's over for the Sixers, it's over for the Flyers, the Eagles have drafted, and we've moved into OTA conversation. There'll be an error by Trey Turner on a Tuesday night, and that Wednesday will be spent 4 hours of, is he the shortstop or should they? And then we'll get Aiden Miller calls. We'll get Bryson Stott flipping over there. Trey Turner will be a center fielder, but then he can't be a center fielder. Then he'll be a left fielder. No, I'm excited for it. No, I just mean this offseason, that conversation's not happening. This offseason's not.
I think it might.
This offseason?
I think it'll be some kind of thought process. I'm not saying it'll come to fruition, certainly by opening day. I don't think there's going to be any movement in that, but there's certainly going to be those conversations.
Would they be less inclined to make any changes in that infield if you think that the eventual guy in the pipeline right now at shortstop is going to be the shortstop?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because he's the right-handed bat. I mean, it's not going to happen at opening day.
No.
I don't want to wait on that. I would prefer either move on from your third baseman. Not that I'm dying to get rid of Stott just because I like the glove, but ultimately you need an everyday bat in that lineup. And if we could shuffle some things around and he's a piece to move, I'm not against moving him. But that also brings the.
I don't know that that's true.
I'm not. They're probably against it. I could tell you Bryce is probably against it. That probably puts an end to that conversation. But I don't know. I'm just is that actually how you have peace? Dombrowski's I'm sorry what I said about you. Your boy Bryson's safe. And he's like, all right, fair enough. Also, you can't question the way I look because I'm about to shave into something ridiculous. Dombrowski's like, all right, yeah, sounds good. We're good. All right. Coming up, we got the news at noon, the 12 o'clock hour also. I have not yet had good Cowboys hate conversation. And I do want to get into that, as well as the one Patullo answer that drove me crazy. So we'll get back into some Eagles conversation come up at the 12 o'clock hour. But first, it'll be the news at noon coming up with Austin Jones alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays with Marks right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update is brought to you by Groundwork, your trained and certified experts for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Eagles offense has been struggling throughout the course of the season, even though they sit 8-2. Jalen Hurts spoke to the media yesterday about how each game has looked different so far.
I think over the course of the year, we've gone out there and played different styles of games, and almost all of the games. It's about sitting in something, committing to it, and then going out there and saying, this is what we're going to do.
Yesterday at Eagles practice, Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson did not practice, and Jalen Phillips was limited with a shoulder injury. Last night, the 76ers fell to the Raptors 121-112. They'll be back on the court tonight in Milwaukee to face the Bucks. Tip-off is for 8 p.m. You can listen right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers are back on the ice after having a few days off, though they will face the St. Louis Blues in South Philly. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. You can listen on 93.3 WMMR. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Despite wintry conditions and heavy traffic, holidays must go on, and that's why Mercedes-Benz SUVs come with the latest safety technology. Find incredible offers at Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration. I'm Austin Jones, and you're home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Middays with Marks here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You're tuned in to WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn, taking you through it today. In a moment, we're going to have the news at noon.
News at noon.
With Austin Jones. But I just want to say, believe it or not, the topic we opened with today, talking about Sirianni deserving more credit for the culture and the fact that everything is still all together. Bill Colarulo came in today, and he said, Ray.
It's great topic.
I think you're an idiot. That's a stupid topic. That guy is, could you imagine? No, of course. He was singing Sirianni Love probably on the entire drive in.
He sent us, I missed it because I had my notification silence, but he texted us the remix of that song.
Yeah, I saw.
Embrace it.
So, yeah, I was just letting that one go. Yeah, I did hear that they are sending a Christmas card, that he's sending one over to NovaCare. I heard that he's trying to get a Christmas card over there.
Please tell me that's not true.
I don't know. Does it sound true to you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's just what I heard. I heard that he feels now that because he met him at practice, earlier in the offseason, that he feels like he's got a kinship with the coach, and he's sending a Christmas card over there.
There's a really good chance that he's going to try to do that. And then follow up. Hey, Nick.
Hey,
did you get my Christmas card?
Did you get my card?
Hey. Yeah, I put my address on there a couple times just in case you want to send one back.
Just in case you want to pop by.
Yeah.
If
you're ever in South Jersey, just come on over.
Instead of a Christmas card, actually, I got an invitation to Thanksgiving if you just want to stop by. I know you got nothing big going on that week.
So then Bill's going to write a remix of Stand by Eminem, but it's going to feature Nick Sirianni.
That's great. All right. On that, Austin, let's keep with the hot shooting from you here. Let's keep with the hot streak. Get us the news at noon.
This city needs its news.
Now, it's time for
I'd like to be remembered as a good newsman.
the news at noon
That's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
with Ray Dunn.
That's with Austin Jones. What do you got?
All righty, so to lead today off, we're going to go and, go over to Pittsburgh and start with Darnell Washington. He appeared on the St. Brown podcast this past couple of days when, he won the Angry Ones scepter from Good Morning Football. And they had asked him, hey, Darnell, how much do you weigh? Mind you, this guy's 6'7". He's a big dude. He could be a power forward in the NBA if he chose to do so. This is what he had to say in regards to how much he weighs.
How much do you weigh? Yeah, bro, I gotta ask, bro. Because you look at the internet, yeah, 260. I'm like, not 260. I ain't weigh myself in a minute, but bro, what do you mean? You got weigh-ins every week. Look. Yeah. Look, you trying to get away. Look, I'm looking with a buck. Yeah. I'm 3'11".
6'7", 3'11", playing tight end. So I had to do a little deeper research to see if now that he told everybody his weight, if there have been adjustments made on his Pro Football Reference page, or ESPN. They have not. They still have him at 6'7", 264. But good old Wikipedia made the update, and now he's 6'7", 311. Could you imagine that behemoth of a man just running at you? I'm sure you guys seen the highlight against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But 6'7", 311 playing tight end.
That is just, the business decisions that you would make.
Yeah.
Based on that.
I would make a routine business. I think if I was in the NFL, it'd be all business decisions.
Just have to like, all right, here it comes. Let's go. All right. Race for impact.
311, though,
Well, let's wait until after Thanksgiving, too. That never could climb.
But
ran a 4.6 at the combine.
How are you allowed week in and week out by, the training staff to keep coming in at 311? I hate to radio guy this fun moment here, but...
What?
311.
The performance is fine. What are you going to do?
He was listed at 260.
You going to bench him?
He's put on 50 pounds since whatever he was listed at.
All muscle, no fat.
Weighs more than fat.
It's all muscle? That's what you're telling me? 311 pounds. He's all muscle?
That's an angry run.
Could be a future Eagle. He's a Georgia Bulldog.
It worked out. Yeah, all right. That's a good point.
I'm sure it's something that they've watched and monitored when you have these meal plans with these guys. They're very nutritionists. They don't mess around with that stuff.
Just absurd.
I just can't wait until after Thanksgiving. It might be closer to 320.
Yeah. I mean, I guess at this point, let's just see how big he can get. Yeah.
No, do not.
Right. So he's over 300+ pounds. And obviously, as you know, the more you eat, the more likely you have to use the bathroom. And you're probably asking, Austin, where are you going with this? And this actually replaced one of my news at noon stories because I got the update notification while we were on air. Mets owner Steve Cohen sold an 18-karat golden toilet for $12.1 million. It's one of two. This is the only one that they know the whereabouts because the other one was stolen in 2019. So I have to just ask you guys, if, you rolled in the dough like that, could you see yourself spending that type of money on something that's an appliance?
No. I mean, it's not an appliance, but no.
Yeah. I mean, no. I couldn't see I struggle to spend money on things I need. Like, it's not like a financial insecurity thing. It's like I just don't want to spend that. I could not see myself. People always say this about well, if you if I hit the jackpot, like I played Mega Millions a decent amount, like you would be able to figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, there would be signs.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be able to figure it out. Like, I think everyone knows my affinity for my university. I'd be throwing some money around there. You might be like, oh wow, why is that building name done? There is not a chance. Think about the things you could do with $12 million that isn't buying a gold toilet.
I just don't understand what.
It actually makes me mad.
There's people that want that, and I guess that's the aesthetic you would be going for. But to me, it'd be like, it's just a toilet. No one ever sees it. Your bathroom door is usually
fully works, by the way.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I'm sitting on this
For
gold
how much?
toilet.
Oh, I feel this is amazing. Does it have heated seats?
I didn't get to see that far down, but that should be needed for that type of money, yeah.
Better be doing a lot of things for you.
Yeah.
All right.
I said it.
Last one here for us.
I said it.
Said it. You said it. On to the next.
Yep.
She did.
I said it.
Alrighty. So I was scrolling through last night, and this is something that might happen here because we're the city of brotherly love. Buku. He's a social media musician that just moved out to LA. He's got about 15,000 followers on TikTok. It's not like he's a superstar musician at this point in time. And he was recording himself about how his car broke down. So it's a pretty crappy day. He's sitting there talking about how he just moved to LA and he's trying to make it and how, life is currently hard for him. And then as he's on his phone recording himself, he does one of these looks where he's like looking at somebody and it's like you recognize him, but you don't recognize him. And, he has that like pitch in his voice where he's like, are you so-and-so? The person turned out to be Justin Bieber, who pulled over to help him.
Wow.
And he's a musician?
Yeah.
And he happens to run into Justin Bieber?
Yeah. And
That's wild.
He's standing, he's like, are you Justin Bieber?
While he's recording himself.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm Justin. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, and they start having a conversation and, he cuts the camera so they can have like their personal conversation about what the guy's going through and whatnot. And he said that Justin gave him the prayer that he needed. Now, I don't know if that's a financial prayer or if they did an actual prayer together.
Or if they're going to make a song now together because he explained the situation.
Right. So my question for you is, you're broke down on 95. What Philadelphia celebrity would you like to pull over to help you?
Well, I mean, I would like actual help if I'm going to need it. So
it seems like Justin Bieber provided help.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest, I'm anti-Justin. As a guy that's been a Selena Gomez fan my entire life, just naturally I fall along the line of being anti-Justin. This is a nice Justin story, so this is good to see.
Okay.
Pro Justin in this case. The celebrity I'd want to run into from Philadelphia. Well, do we count people from the burbs?
Sure.
Because if Sabrina Carpenter helped me out, I think that would be good. I think I'd be in on that.
Is she really going to pull over to help you with your broken down car?
She could.
In this scenario, we'll give it to him, but that's ridiculous.
All right, please enlighten me on who you'd want it to be.
But you just wanted to meet her,
right? Yeah, I mean, this guy just.
I thought I needed actual help. Like if my car needs some.
Is Justin Bieber a logical help
for the musician guy? Yes, he's going to help him.
You don't think somebody that works in media would be helped by running into Sabrina Carpenter?
And in sports media, no, I don't.
I could see Jason Kelsey pulling over and help you with,
Does she have a podcast?
Probably.
I could be the generic host of that podcast.
All right. Okay, then I like that you went ahead and you found a way to make it work. Yeah.
I can branch into different lanes. A lot of people don't realize this. There's more to me than just sports talk.
Really?
There is.
Enlighten us.
I could talk about pop culture stuff, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Right.
In this general frame, yes.
That's what I meant in terms of the media lane.
Got it. No, I have no doubt.
Yeah, obviously I wanted to meet Sabrina Carpenter for the career opportunities it would provide.
Perfect. That's exactly why it was.
That's exactly why I wanted to meet her.
Okay, Perfect. That's
All
great.
right, you still haven't given us a celebrity.
Oh, like, I don't know.
Who's
I
helping
was
you?
somebody who could actually help me with my car. Is what I was
You're looking
looking
at this very practical.
for. So it was. That's what I thought Austin was asking. Like, who could help me with my car? And I just thought, like, well, Jordan Mailata's big and tall, so he could like help me with like changing my tire, which I know generally kind of how to do, but I would need help, with the strength part of it. Like, and that's where my brain went.
Fine.
I thought like an actual human that could help.
If we have to keep this very practical, Kyle Schwarber. I think Schwarber would be great at fixing the situation.
Yeah,
All right, so we're thinking about all the like big burly Philadelphia sports
I was
athletes.
just thinking about or a guy that's like kind of like maybe like it's from like the country or like grew up doing some of the things like
Lane Johnson.
themselves. Yeah, there you go. Like he,
But, I
owns,
think
like, a
Will
tractor
Smith
or
could help
something.
us out.
Like Landon Dickerson, he's big on his tractor and like mowing the lawn like that. Well, all right, maybe he like knows how to like operate something like that.
I don't think that this Buku is the name here.
Yeah, Buku.
Buku.
Yeah, Buku on TikTok.
Buku.
I don't think that.
How many more followers? I'm sorry. How many more followers does he have now?
I'd have to go double check. He was still around like 15,000.
I don't think that Buku saw Justin Bieber and said, "My car is fixed."
But his life is.
His questions could have been answered though.
Yeah. It was a good last story there.
Yeah.
There's another one for you. Feedback. If you want to, who would you want to run into? With your car broken
and they
down?
can help you either with your car situation or with your life situation.
Better your
because
life.
the guy's video that he was talking about is like, oh, that was just another, piece in the bad day puzzle for him, right? That's what he was talking about.
Mhm.
And the day got better. So I guess it could be that. So
I could go viral too with the run-in that I would
and
have.
Sabrina Carpenter would help you.
Yeah, viral. Yeah.
Good day. All right.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm sure.
I have to rethink mine now because I literally went to the practicality.
Yeah. No, that's good though. That's good. That's probably the way you should think about it.
Like,
I was thinking
you could
about
actually
getting
help me
famous
with
quick.
my car.
Yeah.
My car is broken. Help me with my car.
All right, coming up, something that I've seen all over social media that we got to play for you. Dan Orlovsky, he went on a media tour this morning about Jalen Hurts, and it's not exactly the media tour you would expect about Jalen Hurts from Dan Orlovsky. We're going to play that one coming up for you next as the conversation around the quarterback continues, and then coming up after that, little Eagles-Cowboys conversation. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic. And that's right. I got to tell you, I've been telling you all day, and I got to tell you one more time about LennyWins.com, your number one source for professional sports betting insight since 2002. With over 20 years of winning success, Lenny's team is ready to put your money to work. Last week, they hammered the books about college and pro football. Thursday, they gave you the under in Jets-Patriots. Friday, they gave you another outright underdog winner with Clemson. Saturday, Lenny Wins beat the books once again with upset winner Virginia. And tonight, the Bills and Texans at NRG Stadium. They're giving everyone access to their NFL best bet for Thursday night for free. All you need to do is text WIN to 72761. Free NFL blow-up point spread winner. Text WIN to 72761. That's keyword WIN to 72761. Stop losing and start winning big with Lucky Lenny. Free Bills Texans winner. Text keyword WIN to 72761, and they'll see you guys in the winner's circle.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo, and so.
The anticipation kills me with this song. It really
Good.
does.
It's a good build-up.
And if I was more secure about knowing this song, I would try to
You sing it?
yeah, but
There it is.
yeah. I would mistime it. It'd be disgusting. Everyone would be mad at me.
But
Ray,
why
how
would
could
you
you not
ruin
know
it?
that? How could you not know that? I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
My bad. I didn't mean to.
Don't hate me.
Don't hate me. It's okay. You can hate me. That's. I've understood that. That's 100% approval rating is non-existent in this world.
No.
Abdul. That's
Doesn't
what I've
exist.
learned. That's what I've learned. Very early on. Very early on. We got quick. Give me 3 good celebrity helper texts off the news at noon.
All right, so the best one I saw so far was my mother-in-law had a car accident in Washington Township, and somebody pulled over to help her. Come to find out, it was Reggie White.
Wow.
Now, that he could help you.
Yeah, I could.
That's incredible.
Probably, separated her from the, car in the door, just yanked her out.
That's really impressive. All right, Reggie White. I mean, that's going to be a tough one to beat because that's a real story of someone that was actually helped by Reggie White. But
yeah.
What do we got?
I got another one here. It said, I'd want Kevin Petula to pull over so I can help him, or so I can tell him how to run the offense and while he swaps my tire, or Ray Dunn so I can bum a cig off of him.
Stop it.
Oh, yes.
I do not smoke cigarettes. How many times do I have to tell all of you this? It was such a great answer. The Petula thing had me laughing, and now I have to, again, I'm going to go into the DARE program here. I'm going to end up just enrolling to go to schools and speak to schools about why cigs are bad because of the fact that I've been now taken to this entire side of me that doesn't exist. All right, one more.
And the last one we got about it was all the sports stars would stop and help Amy because she's Amy Fadul.
Oh, well, that's awfully nice.
Very
Thank you
kind.
for-
There you go. There's 100% approval rating
for
right
people
there.
wanting to help me. I appreciate that.
That is kind. If I saw you on the side of the road, I'd help you.
I'd be sitting there calling AAA. That's what I would be doing.
I mean, I'm not much help, to be honest with you.
I do know that the idea of changing a tire. I've had to change a tire before. It is just not. It's a very long process, and it
The
takes me too long.
idea is there. The execution for me probably wouldn't be. Just like I understand. Honestly, I've become a pretty good parallel parker living in the city as long as I have. But the idea, for a long time, the idea of parallel parking for me was there, but the execution was never there.
Oh, really?
Now I can parallel
Well, yeah,
park with
but
them.
you can't live in the city and not.
No, you can't. Especially, now I've got a parking lot near where I live, so it's kind of helped. And there wasn't really parking problems before, but I have friends in South Philly now, so I've really had to learn.
You really do.
Yeah.
That's where I lived for 7 years here.
It's brutal.
Awesome.
What I can say?
It's awesome.
Oh.
You said it's brutal.
It's brutal in terms of
Well,
parking.
finding a spot.
Yeah. Oh, I love living in the city. I would never. I am not a neighborhood shamer.
Okay, thank
when
you.
it comes to where you live. Though if you don't live near where I live, I got a lot of questions for you. No, I'm just kidding. I just love Northern Liberties in
I know
that
you do.
area. Vineet was like, there was some new place opening up. I was like, I don't know. I'm sure there is. I'd love to go to it whenever it opens up. But we'll figure that out coming up. Dan Orlovsky mentioned it before the break. Did a media tour this morning. I saw he was on with Unsportsmanlike. He was on with Get Up. He was making the ESPN rounds. Makes sense for a guy that works for ESPN, but it just seemed like he was out there with the Jalen Hurts agenda, the positive one. Take a listen to what Orlovsky had to say today.
What's going on with Hurts is so disingenuous and disrespectful to Jalen Hurts. And I'm not the biggest Jalen Hurts fan. All this dude does is literally everything that everybody begs every other quarterback to do or knocks them for not doing. This dude is 51-14 since 2022. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1. He's been the MVP essentially in both. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl last year. All he does is win. All he does is be obsessed with football and winning and doing what's best for the team. And we're just finding ways to knock him or take shots at him or report about this about him or that about him. We heard this stuff last year about him being disliked in the locker room. And he never wavers. He never flinches. And it's this constant attack.
It is. And it's
that's very factual.
It's interesting, one, Orlovsky basically saying, yeah, I'm not a huge Hurts guy in terms of the way he plays football, but he acknowledges what Hurts does well and does well compared to every other quarterback, and that's find a way to win. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has been the one that's found the way to win. You know, Jalen Hurts versus, he's got things on the mantle that Burrow doesn't, that Allen doesn't, and granted, it did come from the same conference as Mahomes, and you have to factor all that into the equation. Right. But a lot of these guys, don't have, everyone loves to throw Herbert around there. I haven't seen Neil in the YouTube chat do it recently, but I know that, and Neil, I love you. It's just I'm picking on you specifically. Everyone likes to throw Herbert around. You've seen what Herbert's been the last couple of games and what he's been in his career in big games. Like, everyone likes to throw these guys around, and Hurts is the one that just wins. And it's a very, very simplistic retort to everyone, but it's kind of the retort you have to fall back on. And I agree. It was John and Harry Tuesday when I wasn't here that went on the thing of, like, everyone just has to kind of grow up inside that locker room and appreciate the fact they've got a quarterback that wins.
Yeah.
Like,
at every level.
Yeah. And I appreciate what Orlovsky's saying, because one of the things I had issue with, and they played on the morning show today, and coming up we will get to the Eagles-Cowboys. They played today of, like, the one thing I hate about the Hurts discourse is that I don't know if there's anyone since 2021 that has accepted new information consistently. Like, you had your initial feelings on him, and then it was like, all right, 2022, you accepted it, and then when it didn't go their way in the Super Bowl, you're like, well, he fumbled.
Right.
And then 2023 happened, you're like, that confirms everything I said. 2024 happens, you're like, well, he won Super Bowl MVP, and then you're like waiting for the first chance to get to jump back and say, I didn't like the guy at all.
Yeah, I've always been there.
Right.
Yeah, there's people saying that.
That's what I don't love about the Hurts conversation, because it just sounds like a lot of people spike the football on where they were originally, like as someone that was a Hurts guy.
For it to come back to
yeah.
them. Yeah.
So that's why I don't love it. It's cool to hear Orlovsky say it as a guy that's not a Hurts guy. And in the past, we've talked about how critical he's been of him. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that level of conversation around it. Coming up, I want to jump into Eagles-Cowboys, because I haven't got a chance to, but from the fan
Cowboys
perspective. It is Dallas week.
Kelly Green week, too.
And Dallas week, honestly, is the genesis of the way I feel about the Cowboys right now. Because we say Dallas week. I said in the update yesterday, and after, like, the third update, I was like, honestly, after the third update, most words lose their meaning because I've said them so much. But, those two words, I was like, has the meaning been lost in the Dallas week? I'll explain coming up. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays with Marks here at 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update's brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. When you need a new water heater, choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. The Eagles' offense has been inconsistent throughout the course of this season, even though they sit atop the NFC at 8-2. Jalen Hurts spoke to the media yesterday about how each game has looked different via the offense.
I think over the course of the year, we've gone out there and played different styles of games, and almost all of the games. It's about sitting in something, committing to it, and then going out there and saying, this is what we're going to do.
Yesterday at Eagles practice, Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson did not practice. Jalen Phillips was limited with a shoulder injury. Last night, the Sixers fell to the Raptors 121-112. They'll be back on the court tonight in Milwaukee. The Bucks will be without Giannis. Tip-off is for 8 p.m., and you can listen right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers are back on the ice after having a few days off. They'll face the St. Louis Blues down in South Philly. Puck drop is for 7 p.m. You can listen on 93.3 WMMR. This update's brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find so many holiday essentials, all for under $25. Don't wait. Find a location at Macy'sBackstage.com. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This is the type of music to get me fired up for Dallas week. All right.
A little hardcore.
Yeah, let's get after it. Cowboys are going down. Before we get to the Dallas week that I want to jump into, want to get back to the text line here at 610-632-0975. I'm giving out the phone number, and I'm thinking back to the phone call with Greg from Bethlehem, and I'm just still laughing at the fact that the distributor calls him to let him know that the shipment of Mad Elf has made it to the store, and that he should come buy it.
There are definitely, and maybe not to that extent, but there's definitely been times, I'm sure in your life, because I know it's happened with me, where you go to a place regularly and you walk in and they are ready for your arrival immediately. They see you and say, hey, welcome in, and then they bring you whatever.
That's rad, Urban Village.
I was going to say,
right?
I'm not going to name drop all of them, but Urban Village, Other Half, Garage, Fishtown Tavern. There's an entire ecosystem of bartenders that
just good business.
In a way, the Fanatic does its best to keep a lot of bars and bartenders paying the, utility bills, electric, rent. It's a downstream ecosystem. But yes, there are a number of places where
so you walk
people see
in,
my face like, oh yeah.
I used to live when I lived in the city. There was a couple places you'd go and they'd be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
You didn't even hey, how's it going? You'd see the people, you'd call them by name, and then all of a sudden you'd sit down and they'd bring you something immediately.
Yeah, like last night. Michael was surprised that I was enjoying a couple of beers instead of a couple of seltzers that I usually have at the one establishment that I usually go to.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't think that did a good job of disguising it all. I was at Garage. So I actually found out that I was hosted today at Garage.
There you go. Now pivoted your
I had a nice
approach.
I showed up and I had like the index card going of because I wanted to write down things I need to get done this week, and I had an extra index card. And I just sketched out the show.
See,
sitting there
that's
at the bar.
Well done.
Big for me. All right, let's go to the text line here. Jump into one. I want one more celeb helper.
Yeah, I got you. So if I were to have anyone pull over to help me with my car issues, it would have to be Bradley Cooper.
I thought about Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper was one that came to mind immediately as a Philadelphia celebrity. I think that's just because he's done such a great job of branding himself as the Philadelphia celebrity that he's probably the first one that comes to mind. All right, what do we got? I know we got a couple of Hertz texts because we played the Orlovsky audio, and people obviously react to that.
Yeah, so this is from Frank in Philly. He says, everyone says Jalen is a winner. He went to Alabama, and he plays for the Eagles now. Of course, he's winning. The Eagles win despite Jalen's play. He can play great, and he can play horrible. He can play average. He can be mediocre. But guess what? The Eagles still find a way to win the game.
But part of what he does allows them to win the game. I'm going to play for you coming up in the next segment.
Well, James Palmer talked about it, too.
Yeah.
And I know we talk about the risk averseness, but they don't turn the ball over. Jalen Hurts does not turn the ball over. And, yes, it makes sometimes the offense look a little bit
It makes me want to pull
vanilla.
my hair out.
But, listen, the alternative is not good.
Right. No, the
I think
alternative
there's
them
probably a
losing
marriage
the
between
game.
the two. You got to have somewhere. But still, if you had to choose.
There's balance that they could find, and they have to find that, and we're looking for them to find that. We're going to play a clip from Sheil Kapadia coming up because I think Sheil broke it down wonderfully, and we'll play that for you about the risk-averse nature of them. But to what Frank's saying, like, he went to Alabama, went to Oklahoma, came to Philadelphia. Like, is it odd to you that those places that win also chose Jalen Hurts? Like, I love that he's only a byproduct of the system. Well, the system exists with him in it. So you have to give him credit. It's a fun, and this is a fun exercise I want to do in the offseason of like, all right, Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts. Does Howie Roseman exist successfully because Jeffrey Lurie allows him to spend so much cash? Does Nick Sirianni exist as a successful coach because of what Howie Roseman does of building a roster? Like, the flow chart here works. If you really wanted to do this, you could spend probably an entire 7-day retreat in a dark cave trying to figure out how to parcel out credit for this group and not be able to find out significantly because the argument always becomes circular to the next person. That's just the sign of a good system.
Yeah.
And that's why when Hurts is like, well, he's got everything around him. Well, everything around him could fall apart. You've seen quarterbacks be put in good situations and not be able to succeed. He's been put in a good situation, and they've succeeded in winning football games. It has not been successful if the way you graduate success is 350 yards and 4 touchdowns through the air consistently. But that's not how I grade success. I grade success on wins.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, when you talk about certain things, and no one has said this about Jalen Hurts, but the system quarterback. One, you don't say that because the system is not. There is no system right now.
Well,
but that's the other side of the coin. But the system quarterback argument as a whole is that the player is adaptable. It's a good system. You can put a system quarterback in there, and they're going to be able to function with it. The positive of that is that whoever that player is that's called that, it seems like it's a negative. There's nothing wrong with having a quarterback that is adaptable.
Right.
To a larger degree, Jalen Hurts has been able to overcome some of the things as far as the deficiencies in the offense. And I think that's where you should really look and be like, well, he's good because he's able to overcome some of that.
Right. And this isn't to, one, excuse the level of play we've seen over the last couple of weeks because he has to be better. And it's not one to put all the blame on him as well. This is the parceling out conversation.
Right.
But I want to focus on two words: Dallas week. Amy, you've been here quite a while at this point. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like Dallas week has lost its luster from when you first got here?
I mean, yes and no, because I think once the Eagles claimed a couple of Super Bowls, that kind of they were the only NFC East team that didn't have a Super Bowl, and the Cowboys, and they always no rings and blah, 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 even though their rings haven't happened for 30 years at this point. That was always held over the Eagles and their fans' heads. It always was, for years, decades even. And so I think it's lost its luster in that regard, but it's not lost its luster in the fact that you always want to beat Dallas.
Right.
I don't care if they're good or they're bad or they've been irrelevant. They're never not going to be completely relevant here in Philadelphia because of all of that. I mean, it was decades long.
I just don't feel like
it's not just the thing of like the big bad Cowboys.
Yeah.
You're not scared of them.
No, and it's like I don't even feel like I have the energy to go like talk smack. Like it's just kind of like I almost pity you, and like it
is a little bit. You're not going to but it's like when they kept trotting out Mike McCarthy as coach, like keep doing that. That's good. Do that. And then now that Jerry Jones is obviously still the owner and will be forever.
Right.
Still running the show, I should say.
Like the only thing this week that's got me juiced up and fired up for this game is that the national media has decided a Monday Night Football win over the Raiders has cemented them as a team that could potentially like make the postseason and do something. And I'd just like to see that be crushed on Sunday. That's pretty much the only thing for me that's got me fired up for Eagles Cowboys. And I feel like that's just such a shame. Because especially the way I grew up, the only thing we agreed upon in that household with a mom who was a Giants fan and a dad who was an Eagles fan was hating the Cowboys. And I just don't have that drive, that desire. Like, I don't have I want, like...
You still want to beat them.
Yeah, I want to beat them, but it's almost more I want to see the Eagles succeed than I want to see the Cowboys fail. And, for a while there, it was so much like just watching the Cowboys fail was the driving force.
Yeah, well, because you hadn't seen the Eagles succeed.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the big difference maker.
That's fair. That's fair. I just need to get that out there. I just need to get my feelings of the Dallas week thing. It's not a bold take. It's not something that, oh, wow, he's the first person to say it. Dallas week's lost their. I feel I shouldn't be the one reminiscing on it because I'm so young, but I think that there's a generation above me that's listening to this like, yeah, you don't even understand what Dallas week meant. And I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been spoiled. I'm a spoiled
brat. The
brat.
vitriol was so strong.
Yeah.
It was because the Cowboys were winning and the Eagles hadn't. I think just bury them. Keep the gas going.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Bury them. You beat them this week, their season's over. They're just look at their schedule and just what you like. You could end this, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Again, taking a little bit of joy in the fact that you're just going to put out any fire they might have for a season. Coming up to the Eagles offensive conversation that we've been having, a very interesting story was written by NFL.com about potential head coaching candidates in the National Football League. Yep. The name that you think is the name that is apparently someone that could emerge as a head coaching candidate. Also, while we're talking about the offense, Gil Capadia, who I go to for insight and just intellect. I love the Philly Special podcast. I think they do a great job. He broke down the Eagles offense in a positive way. And I want to play that for you coming up. And I'm curious to hear people's reaction to what he had to say about this Eagles offense. We'll get to that coming up next alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays with Marks right here on the Fanatic. And every NFL Thursday is your chance to hit the jackpot on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, because with FanDuel's Thursday touchdown jackpot, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets each week. To get in on this Thursday's action, all you have to do is place an anytime touchdown score bet before the game kicks off. And if your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll win your bet plus a share of bonus bets. Now, looking at tonight's game, I think it's James Cook. I think he's scoring the last touchdown of the game. I think he's putting this game on ice for the Bills tonight over the Texans. That would be my pick for an anytime touchdown scorer that could score the last touchdown of the game. All you got to do is visit FanDuel.com/endzone. That's FanDuel.com/endzone for your chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus the President of Pennsylvania. Opt-in must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally amongst all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets would expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. By far the best of the rotator beds that Johnny has picked out. And I already went last week into talking about why I like this song, because we had the shortstop that hit 400 that walked up to the song when I worked in summer collegiate ball, and I think that's part of the reason why, like, now I'm like, this is such a great way to get amped up, but it's really
It's a great song, though.
It's a fantastic song. It's the best that we have in that rotator. Yes, alongside Amy Fiddle, I'm Ray Dunn in for John Marks. So, Middays with Marks here on the Fanatic. John out today with family situation. Expected back tomorrow. Be John and Harry getting you ready for Eagles Cowboys, which I don't necessarily have the same level of excitement that I probably should for a lifelong Eagles fan that was raised in a household that only really agreed on hating the Cowboys. You know, we, our family, growing up in an Eagles Giants, like split household it's a split like couple in terms of my parents both still happily married, but split in terms of their fandom. My mom a Giants fan, my dad an Eagles fan. Every year, the Eagles-Giants game closest to Christmas would decide which ornament went higher on the tree. So if the Giants won the game closest to Christmas, the Giants ornament went highest on the tree. The Eagles won the game closest to Christmas. The Eagles one went highest on the tree. Now,
I'm going to have to use that.
Very terrifying when the Eagles lose the first game to the Giants this season, because then, you know, that this year you're putting together the tree, which with my schedule right now, I'm not sure when exactly I'm going to get back and they're going to get a chance.
You're just going to see the tree.
Yeah. I'm going to try and get back. we would do it on Thanksgiving, typically.
Sorry.
I'm not going to be.
I'm sorry. You would do what on Thanksgiving?
Well, Thanksgiving, because my sister's in college. So Thanksgiving, like
understand
post-Thanksgiving break, like afterward,
Okay,
like
so
that
you-
weekend.
Okay. I thought
Yeah.
maybe on.
No. Sorry, like
on the
that
Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah.
Okay.
That weekend. No,
It's like I got very.
We don't finish with the food and go over and all right.
All right, Christmas is here.
Yeah, which we've moved to this like that Thanksgiving weekend. I will not be around for Thanksgiving weekend.
I got it. Okay. Now I feel you.
Yes, so we can't do it. But luckily, once again, the Eagles ornament gets the highest spot on the
I'm
tree.
going to use that ornament thing
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
because I have a Kentucky ornament, and it's usually relegated to like the back or the bottom. They're not doing well right now, so I don't know if it's going to go. But
I'm assuming, Wildcats take over that tree.
no, there's hardly any Kentucky stuff.
Yeah, well,
I don't get a lot of representation. That's
it's okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I didn't mean to open up that wound for you.
No, but I like this idea of like you earn tree rights.
Yeah, I'm biased because I grew up in it. I don't know anything else, but I thought it was a good idea by them.
It is
It was
a good
a
idea.
nice, playful way to go back and forth about the Eagles and the Giants. But something that I'm going to open up the wounds with, this offense and the way people feel about the offensive coordinator. So I'm scrolling last night, and I see Bleeding Green Nation puts out their, I think they call it The Link, but it's like their Eagles news. They put together a lot of links to different stories going on with the Eagles, some of the happenings. And one of them was the NFL.com head coaching candidates. So they put together 24 young candidates to know. Tom Pelissero put out the 2026 NFL head coaching hiring cycle. Here's 24 young candidates you should know. One of the candidates, 44-year-old Kevin Patullo. A former quarterback and receiver at USF, Patullo has held all kinds of titles and leadership roles since entering the league as a quality control coach with the Chiefs in 2007. He's been on Nick Sirianni's staff since their days in Indianapolis, been exposed to all parts of the building, yada, yada, yada. And Pelissero puts in there that he's faced scrutiny, but the Eagles are still top half of the league in scoring, which ripe, incredibly ripe. Still top half of the league in scoring, as if that's what the Eagles offense was going for. They're sitting there in Novacare like, yes, we're 16th.
And also, like, let's look at some of the offenses out there.
Yeah.
The Titans are a functioning team.
Yeah. Like, they're 16th. They're middle of the pack.
That's
Thanks in part to an
low
NFL
bar.
best 75% red zone touchdown percentage. We'll give Patullo credit, creative in the red zone. They sit comfortably atop the NFC East at 8-2. Two of Sirianni's last three coordinators, Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore, landed head coaching jobs. Very conveniently leaving out the other offensive coordinator, famously was named as someone that'd be a head coach in waiting and ended up very much not getting a head coaching job and having to restart and climbing the ladder.
Yeah, and people like would wonder, like, hey, whatever happened?
Whatever happened to that guy?
Google it.
Yeah.
To find out, because you didn't know.
So, if the Eagles keep winning, it only makes sense that teams would at least consider making Patullo the third. The at least consider is doing a lot of work right there in terms of what he's going to get. If there is a team that sees him as a head coach, by all means,
take
him. I'm okay with that. By all means. It's fine to see him listed there, and we know this is how the NFL works. The NFL sees the young guru that, they're working under this umbrella, and to Sirianni's credit, he's built this kind of, I don't want to call it a head coach factory, but it's like
got a tree.
Yeah,
Got some good branches.
He's got at least
Steichen and Gannon.
People trust that him as a culture builder, people that work with it under him are going to build something.
Do you give
out of it.
him Kellen Moore? Is that to me is a reach?
It is kind of a reach.
There was like with Steichen and Gannon, like those that was a relationship, and he was brought in with that. Kellen Moore
Does
was.
Howie Roseman have a coaching tree?
He should.
Yeah, because that's what Kellen Moore feels like. When Howie had the meeting with Nick, like, listen.
Hey, listen, it's Brian Johnson.
Listen, we're both going to develop a reputation here, all right? You're going to be let go a year after going to a Super Bowl, and I'm going to be the guy that gets rid of head coaches too soon. Let's sit down and
just
make
fix
this work. Yeah, and part of that was
you in this shiny toy over here.
Kellen Moore needs a head coaching job. It's not going to be your head coaching job, but he needs a head coaching
So
job.
put him in a position.
We're going to put him in a position to get one. And this Vic Fangio guy will make sure that you never talk anything about defense again. And that's pretty much the way that I feel like that went down.
There you go.
That was a good reenactment.
Well, I think that's exactly how it went down.
But Kevin Patullo, should he be getting credit for the approach offensively? No. Sirianni should, because this is the way Sirianni does things offensively. Gio Capadia does tremendous work with the Ringer. I've talked many times about how much I enjoy the Philly Special podcast. Cliff does a tremendous job producing it, and all the guests they bring on there, I enjoy it a ton. That he had a point about that offense, and it was his positive look at the Eagles' offense, and that maybe Sirianni has found the formula, albeit an ugly formula, but the formula for success. Take a listen.
Here's the Zag. This is for the positive people out there. What if everyone's overreacting to the offense? Okay, they're 11th in DVOA, they're 8th in passing DVOA. What if turnover avoidance at all costs is actually the right way to play? Over a 31-game sample over the last 2 years, Sean, the Eagles have turned the ball over on a league low 5.1% of their offensive drives. To put that into context, the league average is 10.6%. And during that stretch, they are 26-5.
I mean, yeah.
He goes on in that clip to mention Chiefs against the Broncos. What sunk them? Turnovers. And it hurts physically to be like thinking about watching this offense operate at this level consistently. Like, it has to be a notch above where it is right now because it's been ugly the last 2 weeks. But he does acknowledge the true point of this whole thing, that as ugly as it is, it's as successful as it is. It was that successful, I think, a year ago in large part because you had a 2,000-yard rusher and you could generate explosives out of the running game, which is a part of that conversation that I think is left out there. But when Shields says it, like, they've kind of found the elixir to, like, winning. It's just that, like, I need you to take it a step further. It's a marriage. We talked about this earlier about the idea of, like, it being something, like, you have to allow this to take a step forward offensively while not losing the protection of the football. But I hear him say it, and part of me is like, I can't disagree right now. Giveaways per game, the fewest in the NFL.
I mean, that's where at the end of it, yes, you're not turning the ball over. Therefore, you're giving your chance to dominate the game. Right? You have the ball. You're keeping control of the ball. My problem is that there is no semblance of an offense.
Right, and that's the thing.
It's not that they're consistent in one thing. It's just that nothing is the same. You don't know what you're going to get. And I go back to something I was talking about with Andrew and John earlier this week. When I've talked to people out, I see them talk, we're at the game or whatever. They'll be like, "Oh, you remember like the 2000 Ravens? I understand where you're going with this, sir, and I'm going to stop you right there." They had a semblance of a team.
Right.
There was an offense there. It was based, obviously, with the run game. But they did not have a dynamic quarterback or two A1 receivers. No one could even name the receivers on that 2000. You could
not even going to try.
No, you can't. It's just gentlemen that I don't even think that anybody would be able. And their numbers were like 300 and 400 yards for the entire season. Exactly. But that was their identity was built on the run game and the defense. That was how it operated. My issue is not the fact that they're turnover or they're risk averse and I think that's great. The problem is that there isn't any kind of there's no consistency.
Right.
There's no identity. They don't do anything.
They go 3 and out more than anyone else. Like that. These are the issues that have to be. I think the thing I take from listening to Shield there is that not so much that it needs to be dialed up to an extreme level, that this team probably is like 2 rungs of the ladder away from just dominating everyone forever. Like, and that's an average offense.
But also, the offense is 2 rungs away from, like, just ceasing to score anything.
Yeah. No. Their average is better than a lot of teams' good.
Correct.
And they are, like, if they just get to, like, slightly above average, it's going to be curtains.
Ridiculous.
And that's kind of what Shields' point there, I feel like, is that, like, they have the right idea. We're just a step away from seeing it in rhythm enough to really, really just crush everyone. Like we saw a year ago, which was, again, the explosive plays in the running game. All right, coming up, I want to have a little fun, just a little bit of fun, and I think you're going to
more fun.
Yeah, but it's a little bit of out of sports fun. It's a sports figure that said this, a sports media figure. Kay Adams said something that caught a lot of attention on social media, and I think it's something that you might relate to, that you might actually deal with.
Probably.
On a day-to-day basis.
Okay, sure.
And I want to know if it applies to not just the idea was wearing coats in the winter. And she's talking specifically about her nephew, but I think it applies to a greater population than just children. And I'm going to go into this whole thing, and I'm curious how many people agree with me because I'm not a huge Coachman myself. And I can already feel Amy's ire being turned towards me, and I can't wait. We're going to get into that coming up next. And, of course, more Eagles conversation coming up down the line at the 1 o'clock hour. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update's brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. Join Boo Colarulo tonight from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Green Parrot for the Ultra Access Sixers Watch Party. $350 Ultras and a chance to win Sixers Sweet Experience with Bill, sponsored by Michelob Ultra. Please enjoy responsibly. The Eagles' offense has been inconsistent this season, and Jalen Hurts spoke to the media yesterday about how each game has been different so far.
I think over the course of the year, we've gone out there and played different styles of games, and almost all of the games. It's about sitting in something, committing to it, and then going out there and saying, this is what we're going to do.
Yesterday at Eagles practice, Cam Jurgens and Lane Johnson did not practice, and Jalen Phillips was a limited participant with a shoulder injury. Last night, the Sixers fell to the Toronto Raptors. They'll be back on the court tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. Tip-off is for 8 p.m. You can listen right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers are back on the ice after having a few off days. They will face the St. Louis Blues down in South Philly. Puck drop is for 7 p.m. You can listen on 93.3 WMMR. This update's also brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Your favorite song shouldn't have to wait for Wi-Fi. Switch to Straight Talk and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk available at straighttalk.com or Walmart. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Business Studios, and that 12 o'clock hour we just had, it was tremendous. Really a great hour there.
Great hour.
Brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates, tax credits up to $4,300 for purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. All right. We got some Eagles business to take care of, but there was one thing. I saw this on social media earlier this week, and it caused quite a stir. And I'm just curious. We get into the 1 o'clock hour here. A little sports adjacent fun here. I think you struggle. I would imagine you struggle with this, having two boys, the coat conversation.
Yes.
It is beginning to get cold. Kay Adams posted a video on Twitter about an issue that she's having daily that I'm imagining you go through, but I also think it applies to another generation of, I would say, men. I think this is mostly a man's problem here.
Yes.
Also, please let us hear what Kay Adams had to complain about.
Why is the hardest part of my day convincing, bribing, guilting my 13-year-old nephew to put a coat on? What? Boys, coats, winter? What is the psychology behind this? I asked him to put on a coat, and it was as if I asked him to explain the philosopher's role in the allegory of the cave from Plato. He looked at me like, what are you saying? Why would I do that?
And that issue, I will let you first chime in on the issue. Is this something that you consistently go through?
Consistently. This morning, heading to the bus stop, which is a 7:55 departure for the 8:05 bus. It was 38 degrees outside.
Right.
That, to me, is no question that is jacket weather.
While I hear you, and I want to validate your feelings on that.
It's 38 degrees.
And you saw today I did come in a coat.
There was frost on the grass.
I did come in today in a coat, mostly because I'm going over to the other workplace in which I work with you. So, I'm early on over there, so I'm still dressing to succeed.
That's
I'm
nice.
trying to put in a little effort. So the coat for me, though, solely fits into that reality. I only really wear a coat, jacket in scenarios in which I'm dressing the part, where I'm trying to dress as a quasi, I don't want to say successful, but put together human being. I would argue that Kay Adams' point does not just extend to the young,
Correct.
It's not just a problem with teenage and pre-teenage boys. It's a problem, I think, and I don't want to speak for all men in this regard. There's a lot of us that believe we're tougher than the weather. Whether they're in the summer, like Brandon Gunn, our old buddy B Gunn, thinks he's tougher than the sun, doesn't do the whole sunscreen thing, which is a massive mistake. I don't feel that way about sunscreen, but I feel this way when she says that wearing a coat, it's hard to explain why to someone that doesn't do it. I feel this way. Honestly, I would wear a sweatshirt and be cool with it and just deal with it.
I've seen it. I've seen it live in practice.
Yeah.
Been at a sporting event where it was very cold, snowing, and there was no coat.
So I
the grown man.
Yeah, and so I'm looking right here at our YouTube chat, and I see people say that they have trouble with their kids with the coats. I'm curious for the adult men to chime in here on what degrees it takes for you to actually wear a coat.
Sean doesn't own a coat.
There you go.
He went to Minnesota for the Super Bowl. We were outside shooting live shots outside. The company issued him a shell, one of those light liners almost on the inside. He was like, that was the only coat that he wore. The high was -6.
Right. No, I remember the story of the weather out there. Yeah.
Doesn't own a coat, won't wear a coat.
And
Does not own one.
I mean, Sean's just gem because I feel like I relate to this man on this one because I absolutely am anti-coat in most scenarios. Unless I'm going to be standing outside for an extended period of time, I'm done.
Like at a sporting event.
Well, it was an indoor event.
Not outside, it wasn't. We were out. How about at the Notre Dame game? We went to Notre Dame. It was snowing. Short sleeve T-shirt and a sweatshirt.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's 2 layers.
He was
right
like,
there.
I'm really cold. I'm like, yeah, I wonder why people are dressed like it's the Arctic. It was freezing that day.
It is 2 layers, though.
You know what?
T-shirt, sweatshirt.
I'll give you 1.5. There's no arm second layer.
I would give you this, though. Most men wouldn't wear a jacket, but then you look at their legs and they're wearing shorts when, it's absolutely cold outside. Me, personally, I would say, you and me, probably around, 35 degrees is probably,
it starts with
warranted,
a 3.
right?
It's coat weather.
But, today, I also do, simple math, right? I looked at my jacket and I was like, do I really need to wear it? I looked at the weather, it said 38 degrees, and I was like, I probably should, but then math kicked in. I was like, well, I'm leaving my apartment and going to the car. I'm going from the car right into the office. I'm in the office for the next however many hours. I'm going to leave the office, go back to my car, drive home, and then just go from the car to the apartment. So I don't really need that heavy jacket, and I'm wearing my A.J. Brown jersey, so I want to show it off.
You guys are you're still going to be able to see it. You are downplaying that amount of time. So sitting in the car, it'd be nicer to have the jacket on while your car is heating up.
We just pulled off today. I know that's not good, but today we had to just get up out of there.
You just had to go, right? So your car is not warm.
I had to beat the trash can or the trash truck today.
For the first 10 minutes or however long it takes, 5 minutes for your car to warm up as you're driving, Austin, you would have been all cozy and snuggly. But no, you guys, you just think, oh, well, because I'm not going to wear it. I brought my jacket. I'm not wearing it right now. You can still see that I'm wearing a sweatshirt.
I've struck a nerve, clearly.
I just don't understand the principle behind it. I live in a household where people think jackets are unnecessary as a whole, and therefore now it's this trickle-down effect.
I will say this, and I will explain my entire viewpoint on this one.
I think there's some really nice jackets out there. A gentleman can look lovely in a jacket.
You just proved my point exactly. To the argument about whether the coat is actually essential. To me, the coat is essential in two scenarios. One, when we go sub 30. Once we're sub 30, I will tend to wear a coat. Not always, because what Austin just described, if there are instances in which I'm leaving the home to go somewhere else where I will be indoors almost immediately, not a lot of reason to have more to carry.
It's so bulky to carry around.
It is. I'm glad you agree with me on that.
It's not. You guys that's ridiculous.
To have more on me would be a detriment to me once I get there. And what if I get warm when I get there? I wouldn't want to deal with
it away.
that.
Keep the coat racks.
Or what if I'm out and then I'm at a bar? There's nowhere to put it. And then I'm uncomfortable.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. Like, for you going, like, I remember, like, certainly times you're like, I don't want to bother with. But there's coat closets, there's coat racks.
Sub 30 degrees when there is going to be an extended period outside is option one for me when I wear a coat. Option two is strictly to look the part.
The aesthetic.
The aesthetic, that would be the only other time in which I wear a coat, because if, like a first date and it's cold outside, you don't want to be the guy that seems irresponsible. Now, eventually they'll figure that out about you. But in that moment, I don't want to seem irresponsible.
You could also have extra chivalry, because if she gets cold, you have the coat to give her.
And that's a good point. So again, looking the part there. Playing the part as well in that sense. And then also that first couple of times at work where you also don't want to appear like the irresponsible guy. Like right now at the other place of work. I'm wearing the coat today because I want to look put together when I show up. Will they learn at some point that it's all a ruse?
I just don't understand why you guys don't like to be warm.
It's just more to carry.
I think it's the laziness of that, but I think generally men tend to run hotter as far as temperature-wise. Like, I'm always cold. I may or may not have I've heard there are space heaters at places of work. I would never get one because obviously those are very irresponsible with a lot of electronics around. I would never have one.
Correct.
At my desk to keep warm throughout the year.
But
if I saw one, I might kind of scoot it towards me.
Got it.
But I'm always cold, and I understand that. So I am always coat. I'm pro coat. I'm pro sweatshirt. As many layers as I can physically get on my person. Great. I just think that the comfort of it is going to outweigh everything for me. Mm-hmm. I like to be warm and comfortable, and a coat provides that.
Yeah. I mean, kind of.
No, that's literally what it's there for.
But like, again, when you're out in public, like, I mean, you're right, it does. But like, if I'm out and about, and I'm not going to be outside for a while. I'm anti-coat. I'm anti. I'm not totally anti.
This
but
is the thing, and I don't.
And it's a man's thing too. It's
it is, and it's of all ages.
Yeah,
because I've experienced it on all age groups.
And Kay Adams made it just seem like it was children.
No,
it's not a children thing. This is a grown man.
A grown man.
My favorite thing to do is when I see my dad outside with no coat, and I ask him like, "Hey, where's your coat at?" Because I got the PTSD from it when I was a kid, and then the tables turn. He gives me like that dad look.
But now you don't wear a coat.
I do wear a coat, just not today. That's all.
Yeah, see, he's looking the part right now. I see what you're trying to do. You're looking the part right now. You don't wear a coat. It's all right.
I
don't
either. Seem like a coat wearer.
No, I love my bomber jackets. I got my Kelly Green one and my Sixers one.
That's the aesthetic of it.
Yeah, I also the look the part. I've got my the nice Phillies one that I have. I'll wear that.
That's a nice one.
Yeah,
right.
Did you say you have a NASCAR one? Andre Drummond had a NASCAR one the other day.
Dale.
He had Mark Martin.
Dale Sr. and Dale Jr.
Oh,
do it for Dale.
Do it for Dale.
Oh, look at that.
2 Dales. All the Dales.
All right, come on. I want to get back to the Dallas game because we got some people that chimed in on Dallas week and the way they feel about it, and I want to kind of break down at least there's an early insecurity I'm sensing about some people about this matchup.
I
Maybe
think so. I think there's some people that are,
we're going to play Explain It to Ray because you're going to explain it to me
Talk me through your process.
as to why we're so insecure. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. This Middays Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic. And hey, it is Ray Dunn. I'm talking to you about LennyWins.com again, your number one source for professional sports betting insight since 2002. With over 20 years of winning success, Lenny's team is ready to put your money to work. Last week, they hammered the books, both college and pro football. Thursday, you got the under in Jets Patriots. Friday, you got an outright underdog winner with Clemson. Saturday, Lenny wins, beat the books once again with an upset winner in Virginia. And tonight, it's the Bills and Texans at NRG Stadium, and everyone's getting access to their NFL best bet for Thursday night for free. That's right. I'm telling you, it's for free. All you need to do is text WIN to 72761. The free NFL blow-up point spread winner, text WIN to 72761. The keyword, I'm not going to keep yelling at you. It's WIN. 72761. Stop losing and start winning big with Lucky Lenny. Free Bills Texans winner, again, with the keyword WIN to 72761, and they'll see you guys in the winner's circle.
John Kincade.
Welcome back. Middays with Marks alongside Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn. Hanging out with you on this Thursday. Back-to-back Thursdays. Two of us get a chance to hang out. And we're leading you up to Cowboys-Eagles. And we're going to get to some Cowboys. I need to explain it to Ray. Insecurity ahead of the Cowboys game. Because I don't know if you heard.
Tell us why.
Monday, my security became official. I decided I'm done with the they can't win in this way. It's not sustainable mentality. Just like after the Ravens game last year, I'm done. I've hit the point where I pick them to win every week. Sorry to blow the pick segment for you. I still look forward to Locks of the Week tomorrow on the program and look forward to us breaking down the game. But I could tell you where I'm leaning because I think I've just gotten to that point. We're going to get to that insecurity in a second. But on the text line, I've been told that we've got people chiming in on the coat weather conversation.
Yeah, so this is from Eric from Virginia. He said, I'm almost 61, and the only time I wear a heavy coat is if I'm going to be actually outside in the cold. Other times, it's just a hoodie or a light jacket. Goal is to wear shorts until at least November 1st.
What was the name there again?
That's Eric from Virginia.
Shout out Eric from Virginia. I mean, that's a
Eric
man.
in Virginia because it doesn't get as cold there.
All right. I mean, it does kind of seem like at some point he would have to wear a jacket under your standards.
He would.
Eric, thank you for backing me up there, Eric. Do we have more people backing me up? Let's make sure that my minority opinion sounds like a majority opinion right now.
Yeah, this is Sean from Sentimental. He said, hoodie weather is good enough for any temperature. I take it a step further, and I'm anti-pants? Question mark?
I'm Ron Burgundy?
What?
Yeah, I caught that last bit. That's why you got that reaction from me.
11740. Could we please get a drop of Austin saying that he's anti-pants?
Anti-pants.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, appreciate that. With that, good time to get back to the Cowboys and Eagles conversation.
Please wear something on the lower half.
I'm going to assume, much like our old buddy Tyler Zulli was this way, and I'm sure that he's not the only grown man this way. These shorts, no matter what the weather is, campaign.
There's a lot of people that are like that.
I had a
That's
friend, Chris, in high school, but again, this is high school, so I'm going back to a younger age. That was shorts pretty much all year round.
As long as you, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of people like that until they saw snow on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, I think even I'm pretty sure the whole thing was on a day that it snowed. He came in shorts. It's been a while since high school. You know, it's been a minute.
I had a professor that always wore flip flops, even in the snow.
Oh.
I always thought that was very interesting. You'd see him.
Another old buddy of ours. I'm just throwing out a ton. Jamie Lynch is I feel like he's.
Like I remember seeing it.
Flip-flops
Like
no matter what.
I saw this professor walking out, and I was like, there's absolutely snow on the ground right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're only going from inside the building to your car, and then going from your car to inside your home,
you're walking through snow in flip flops.
Again, iron sharpens iron, right there. It's a little cold.
Dumb sharpens dumb. No, frostbite. Terrible ideas.
We did get one text saying that it's not just boy dads and boy moms. It's also girl dads and girl moms that are dealing with the same issues with their children as well.
Yeah, so kids, I think it's across the board. I don't think that necessarily it's one gender that goes like one way or another. Like I think for kids, it's across the board. No kid wants to wear a coat.
They just don't like them.
I just think when you get to adulthood, there are a lot of men that feel like they're tougher than the conditions at all times, and that's what stops us from wearing coats. That's the feeling. And we could go down this path all day long, but we got to get to the Cowboys and the Eagles here. We're gonna get
we do.
Get it back to the Birds. I would like Austin or Amy, one of the two of you, explain it to Ray, the insecurity about this game.
You mean insecurity that the Cowboys might win?
Yes.
That's the insecurity. I think that the fact that it is one of the more dynamic receiver duos, and the only issue you have when you look at your defense, even if it's not a very big one, is the secondary. It's the other cornerback position, and you don't want them to exploit it to the degree. I think insecurity is probably a little bit strong, but there's definitely that back of the brain of like, I don't know. I think your defense will be able to pull through, and I think it's going to be fine, even if you do give up a couple of touchdowns. But I can see that there could be there's a little voice in the back being like, not so fast, my friend.
Ooh, a little Lee Corso for us here. All right, Austin.
Yeah.
I appreciate Amy's explanation. I feel like that's kind of where it's coming from.
Yeah, looking at it just in regards to Dallas, I mean, Dak Prescott, he struggles what seems to be with like every other team outside the ones within his own division. He has an absurd record against the NFC East since he's been the full-time starter down in Dallas, and now that you gave him a wide receiver A and CeeDee Lamb, and then you have another like 1A type and George Pickens piggybacking off of what Amy said. So I would chalk it up to the two receivers and the fact that Dak Prescott has been able to just, cream the entire division throughout the course of his career.
And they were posting up that stat the other day. And I was, Tuesday I was in Richmond, so I wasn't here. And as part of me sitting in the hotel room getting notes done, I've got the basic package of TV. So they had ESPN, so I had the national shows going. And get up in the midst of their obnoxiously long Cowboys segment following the Monday night win, where Greeny's like, I'm the overreaction king, or something, whatever he calls himself.
That was the cowboy hat day?
I'm sure, yeah, probably. Yeah. It is. I saw that clip, and I made a concerted effort not to consume that clip.
Yeah.
With
As soon
all
as you
due
see
respect.
it, like whatever the thumbnail looks like, I'm not clicking on that.
I'm Because I think the cowboy hat came from First Take, right? That was that day.
No, Greeny did it on Get Up.
Oh, okay. So I guess I caught later in the show. I guess, I'm the overreaction king or whatever it was that he was saying. And he was like talking about how great the Cowboys are. And I made I'm just sitting there like, you've got to be like joking me with this whole thing where they're showing the graphic about like 6-1 against the Eagles at home. The only loss coming in 2017. I was like, oh, interesting. So 2017, a time where you could decisively say the Eagles were a better team. Like, of course, he lost that game at home to the Eagles. So I don't know. I don't really buy a ton into this whole Dak has dominated the NFC East, mostly because if he's dominated the NFC East so much, then why has another team in the East won 2 Super Bowls in the time he's been in the league? Like you've won.
Where
the
all
games.
those NFC East titles that he's piled up over there.
And what they're trying to point at is that he's won games, and this is a game, so maybe you can point it out. But I don't know. We're gonna get to coming up. We got a couple of good friends on the line that I want to get to coming up in the next segment. The Tasty Cake Dom checking in on the rivalry. He's gonna educate a young man like me on what it was really like to live through Eagles Cowboys being at its heyday. And Andy in Lambertville is gonna chime in on this conversation about the concern, why I should be concerned, why I shouldn't be concerned about this game between the Eagles and the Cowboys. And coming up, Jordan Mailata spoke about a number of things. One specifically, the restaurant scene. We're going to get into the offensive line conversation, but he also went into a little bit of the Michelin restaurants conversation, which I thought was pretty funny. We'll get to Mailata, concerns over the offensive line and concerns over the Cowboys coming up next. Alongside Amy Fadul, I'm Ray Dunn. Take you through Middays with Marks right here on The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Austin Jones with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles offense has been struggling throughout the course of this season, even though they're sitting at the top of the conference at 8-2. Jalen Hurts spoke to the media yesterday about how each game has looked different on the offensive side of the ball.
I think over the course of the year, we've gone out there and played different styles of games, and almost all of the games. It's about sitting in something, committing to it, and then going out there and saying, this is what we're going to do.
Yesterday at Eagles practice, Lane Johnson and Cam Jurgens both did not participate, and Jalen Phillips was a limited participant with a shoulder injury. The 76ers fell to the Raptors last night, 121-112. They'll be back on the court tonight against Milwaukee, who will be without Giannis. Tip-off is for 8 p.m., and you can listen right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers are back on the ice tonight against the St. Louis Blues down in South Philly. Puck drop is for 7 p.m., and you can listen on 93.3 WMMR. This update is brought to you by Allstate, which you can save on home insurance. With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first and get a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Austin Jones, your home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
going from here to Temple men's basketball games.
Yes.
As a part of now my routine.
Not wearing a jacket?
Not wearing a jacket. No, not at all. That's crazy. Why would you even suggest that? Actually, that's especially those days because I'm always wearing the Temple quarter zip. Like there's a you can always tell when I'm going to Temple because I have the Temple quarter zip on. Almost that is a pretty good sign that I'm going over there. I just wear it because then I'm going to be in the facility and nobody asks any questions. Because still they'd be like, "Do you belong here?" It's like, just, please let me in.
Yeah, exactly. Look at me.
Please.
I'm wearing it.
Well, nobody asks any questions when you're wearing Temple gear walking through. At least now. Maybe they have just grown to know me, and maybe I'm just overrating the whole Temple quarter zip thing. But anyway, so I don't wear a jacket because I've got the quarter zip on. That counts as coverage. But that song, Award Tour, right? You want to pop that up real quick for us? This song came on while I was at the Honey Grow doing notes yesterday. And all I could do was think about, think about John typing away at notes. Yeah. Now this song just makes me think of the show.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because we played it so many times coming back from break that now I heard it. I was like, that's hearing a song out in the wild that we have as like something that sets everything always is jarring to me. Devon's old intro always, whenever I hear it, I'm like, I always go back to it. But this song here, Out in the Wild, was something for me that I was like, wow, look.
Isn't it funny when you hear certain things, like where it takes you back to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
There's certain songs that are always that way.
I was taken back to the producer studio. That was going. All right, let's rock some phone calls here about this Eagles-Cowboys game coming up on Sunday. We'll start by going to the phone lines, talk to our old buddy, Tasty Cake Dom. Dom, how are you?
Hey, Ray, how you doing? Hi, Aim.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Tough one last night, Aim.
Yeah, it was. The third quarters, you're digging yourself a hole.
Dom, we need you in there at halftime. We need you in there at halftime making adjustments because whatever they're doing at halftime's not working.
Now they do just fine. Listen, Amy, Mark, and Coach Jimmy can't get better than that.
You cannot get better than that. I agree with that.
Cannot. That's the best there is. They could, I wanted to get to other things, but those offensive centers kill the Sixers, don't they, Aim?
Yeah, just
like that guy killed them. Like Drummond's doing a great job rebounding, but
he's a 3-point shooter now.
Yeah, he's now a sharpshooter. You have to remember, Andre Drummond is now a 3-point specialist.
Well, they beat that Raptors team before. They don't have a lot of size, so they just have a lot of wing players, and you're kind of short on the wings right now.
They beat him without the center, though.
Are you talking about Jakob Poeltl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So
also, Joel played in that game before, and that's
that
as
helps.
good as he
That
looked,
certainly helped.
Yeah.
The other thing, Ray, is the greatest dilemma of my 30 years doing my job was the coat. Because, I start out 3:30 in the morning, and in the winter, I'm wearing the coat. But then pulling orders and stuff was very cumbersome to work with the coat. And then more importantly that, I'm bringing a 50-case order in the shop, right? It's nice and heated in there,
right?
And it's hard to work with the coat.
See,
where do you put the coat? What do you do with the coat?
It's why you don't wear it, Tom.
You're driving the vehicle to the shop, right, Tom?
Right, I'm driving.
Could you leave it maybe in the cab of the vehicle?
She's walking you into a trap, Tom. She's walking you into a trap.
Large cab. It's a heated cab.
But
that way you don't lose the coat, and then later at night when you're home, you have the coat to like get all snuggly with.
Dom, she's trying to preach logic to us. This is not a logical conversation. What are your feelings this week on Eagles Cowboys?
Well, I agree with you, Ray. Listen, sports right now in Philadelphia, pretty good. We got 4 pretty competitive teams, I think, which is great. But the great rivalries when I was a kid are gone. There is no more Cowboys-Eagles. And more importantly to me, there's no more Celtics-Sixers. It's gone. And, Ray, we've been talking about this for 8 years. In my world, in my friendship world when I was a kid, the Celtics were the most hated team, even trumping the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I know you've given us a lot on how much you hated them, and 8 years he's given me a lot of credit here for my time here. I almost feel like Tasty Cake Dom has gotten so sick of me saying that I'm just so used to the Celtics kicking the rear ends of the Sixers that I'm not exactly as invested as the rivalry as he was. That he feels like he's been listening to me for 8 years.
I think you just have to be careful what you wish for. I feel like it was not that long ago that the Knicks rivalry with the Sixers, which was heralded for so long, was declared dead.
Yeah. Well,
that came back to bite.
I would like the Celtics-Sixers thing to be relevant because that means we have expectations on the Sixers.
Well, the Celtics, you can take back control of that rivalry this year.
You could. You could. Well, we've already seen 3 games of it, so it's
You're not going to see the next one until March.
Yeah. Real great job by the schedule there.
There's stuff like that. It's just...
But yeah, you see, he echoes the point that Eagles-Cowboys rivalry.
It doesn't have the same luster, but I think at some point it probably will again.
Andy is going to explain to me why I shouldn't be worried. This is going to be the opposite of explain to Ray. It's going to be agree with Ray why we shouldn't be worried about the Cowboys. Andy Lambertville, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, good afternoon, Ray, Amy, Austin. What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Austin, you're doing a great job on the reads today. Just A+.
Oh,
great
thank
job,
you,
buddy.
Andy. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I lost a lot of money over the last few weeks when Amy co-hosts, by the way. Amy, the over-under for you to use the term wonky is a 0.5.
I'm sorry.
You
I
haven't used it, and I've lost money. You're costing me a lot of money, Amy. Knock it off.
I guess there hasn't been anything to talk about being wonky.
I know. Speaking of wonky, Tasty Cake Don better take a lap. Put on a jacket, leave it in your cab. What's the problem,
That's
bro?
what I said.
Andy, no, stop
That way
it.
you have it
here's
for
the thing,
later.
Ray, you're an intelligent guy, okay? You wear the jacket because, what, are you going to have 3 layers when you walk into the heated room? Now you got to start taking off your hoodie, your hair gets messed up. Come on, Ray.
I would like us to just cut where he said I was an intelligent guy. We need proof of that. Someone send that to management. What do you got for us on the Cowboys?
All right, so don't be afraid of the Cowboys. Now, I love the YouTube chat, as you know, but there's a particular guy on there named Dawood, and he's absolutely insane. He's calling for the Eagles to lose this weekend. He's a crazy person because the Eagles are going to win by 10+. The only thing I have a small concern with is obviously the passing game with Lamb and Pickens, and, we'll see how Dory Jackson does. I know you're champion of the fan club there, but... other than that, the Eagles' defense is really coming together. I have no worries. The offense is just going to – they can't really – even if they just stay the same, the Cowboys aren't going to score 20 points. So Eagles are going to win this weekend. No big deal. Take it easy. Now, the Dallas rivalry is gone because they stink. Okay? Well, back in the day when I was a kid, they were great, so everybody hated Dallas, just like people hated the Patriots when you were a young man because they were winning all the time. Now they stink, so there's no luster there, Who cares about Dallas? They stink.
And that's kind of the MO I'm getting. And the more, when I brought it up earlier and I said it, and it was like, I don't have that same feeling. Like the 2 words Dallas week don't hit the same way. Like when Brandon Graham shows up with the star X'd out on the hat down to the Sixers game. That was nice. It was nice to see. But to me, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I didn't have that's our guy. Let's beat Dallas this weekend. Like you don't have that like.
Did you ever have that?
Yeah, I feel like there was that kind of like, I hate that group. Like, it's like, I see the star, I'm disgusted by it, but it's like it's kind of a pity.
Is that, and if I was a Cowboys fan, which there would be other issues going on there, that would actually make me feel worse.
Really?
I don't want pity.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're right. You're right on that. Yeah.
You'd rather be revered, hated,
right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, that's sad.
Like pity might be the wrong word because I do enjoy the misery.
I think it's like you pity because then you say you feel sorry for them, but it's more of like, oh, look what you've become.
Right.
Look what you've become.
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
It's like kind of like
there's a patheticness.
I don't know if this is the right example, but like, the going to the ruins of, like Pompeii, and like you just kind of see like an empire that once was, and like it's just like not there anymore.
Right.
Like that's kind of what it feels like going to Jerry's World. Aside from the fact that like, Jerry's World was built after the empire.
Correct.
So
slightly.
And still built in a 21st century, but not with the technology to understand how to stop that damn sun glare.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
Are we going to deal with that on? Does anyone know if we're dealing with that on Sunday? Because it's the biggest farce in sports.
No, because it's like 4:00, right? Well, it's 3:30 there.
Yeah, so it's going to be light out.
Yeah,
it's the biggest load of crap in sports. That guy spent $1 bajillion on that place, and we got to talk about sun glares and whether it's going to impact players. It's the stupidest thing. I hate it. I hate it. There you go. That's my one thing I'll get irrationally upset
It's
about
supposed to
today.
be cloudy in Dallas on Sunday.
Ah, okay. There you go. It's always sunny in Philadelphia, though. All right, coming up, we got feedback.
Feedback.
Excited for feedback. I don't know what's going to... I always feel very insecure going to feedback the 2 times I've hosted with feedback because I don't know what's going to be in there. And I'm hoping the people are... Silvana, relax. All right, we got Silvana over there playing program director like, hey, take the break. Take the break. Take the break. I'm not intentionally not to sabotage your pre-show work, all right? All right, alongside me for I'm Ray Dunn. This is Middays Marks 97.5 The Fanatic. Hey, everybody. Final segment here, Middays with Marks, coming up unfiltered with Ricky Bowe and Nick Sirianni's cousin. 1 o'clock hour here is brought to you by Morgenstern Hair Restorations. Great teams stick together, and so does great hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration Championship results. Visit morgensternhair.com or call 610-980-4000. We're going to get to feedback in just a moment here. I just realized something, and you actually heard me realize it live in person on the break. We did W's and L's back, in May, and then again probably sometime in June, and then just for good measure, July, and then just to be absolutely certain, the week before the season in August. All those times, I think I picked the Eagles to lose this weekend because when I saw Dawood in our YouTube chat going through his logic of why he has them losing this weekend, and he mentioned you always split with Dallas, and I believe that was the feel that I gave initially.
And then now you're like, I don't have to worry about them.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about it. Again, I'm not worried about it just because I've become, I said it on Monday, I've gotten to the point where it's, this isn't sustainable. You can't win like this. Well, they just keep freaking winning. So what am I going to do? Pick against them? I'm going to become just like, I just mentioned him, Sirianni's cousin afterward. I'm not going to pick against him. Sirianni's cousin always picks with the family. So I'm gonna be right in line with him the rest of the season.
That's what you want to hitch your wagon to?
No, I'm not going to be in line with him with a lot of things. Though today's open.
You said the rest of the season.
Well, in terms of picks.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I'm not going to excuse a 4th down decision by Nick Sirianni late in the game to go for a tush push because he felt like they got halfway on 3rd and 1. I'm sorry. That's coming up at 2 o'clock. That's coming up at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, let's not give that any more.
I'm not giving any more fire. You know. I got his producer timing me out on the side here. We got Ricky Bo walking past, looking in. Oh, could I disrupt you now? TV stars. Ridiculous. Not you, Amy Fadool. Not you. Not you. You're the TV star that hasn't devolved into the chaos of the three of them.
You can take the word star. I am on television.
You are a TV star.
Sure.
All right, before we get to feedback, I want to go to Steve in Delaware here. Steve, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good. How about yourself?
So I'm tired of the excuses being made for the offense as a whole, and I'm tired of what I've been seeing so far. I'm tired of the adage being said we have to find ways to win, and they're being commended for finding ways to win when you have too many offensive weapons not to be able to be dominating a lot of these defensive teams. And I just don't, to this point, I don't think Kevin Patullo can do that. And I don't just blame it on him. I blame it on the offense as a whole. Being offensive line hasn't been getting the push so that Saquon can get the yardage that he needs, where he's always getting hit in the backfield. And it's just frustrating to see, like, the defense have to carry the team every week, and the offense not being called out as a whole, the offensive line not being the same.
Mm-hmm. So here, listen, I'm listening to you here, Steve, and you start by saying we shouldn't commend them for finding ways to win. We should critique them for the way the offense is. I almost feel like the two go kind of hand in hand. You commend them for the fact that they're 8-2, and yet we've had to deal with all this. And it's not going to stop us from criticizing the fact that the run game's not the same because they haven't gotten the same push from the offensive line. It's not going to stop us from talking about Kevin Patullo and the things he does that drives me absolutely up a wall. And the fact that Hurts can be better. Receivers, when we talk about AJ, all that he's talked off the field, there's been a couple of routes this season, and it's now been pointed out by actual receivers and not just moron with the microphone me, that he could have been continuing on these routes that he's stopped up on. There's plenty of blame be handed out for this offense, but I do think coming back to commending them to winning is the fact that all this has gone wrong, and we can find all these problems with the offense, and they still won a game. They have to get it better, but I don't think, are we making excuses for them?
I think we are, because the thing about it, yes, they're winning. But don't confuse just winning as really getting it done, because the thing about it is it can't be on the defense every week to stop. A game where you get you don't score in 3 quarters of football and you have these type of weapons, that is a problem.
Steve,
that's not going to work during the playoffs.
Give me your 3 best teams in the NFL right now.
So 3 best teams right now, obviously.
Eagles.
Because I think I'm sorry, I can't think of them.
No, don't worry, Steve.
The Eagles are.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that's just that. Like I said, that just shouldn't be enough. All I'm saying, I'm not saying that. Like, listen, I'm mad that they're losing. I'm mad that they're winning. But it's just like,
right. I get what you're saying.
You're figure it out.
You're tired of watching what you've been subjected to watching offensively. I don't think you're outside of anyone else. I'm just saying when you say we're making excuses for them, I want to see what standard you're holding them to. If we're holding them to win a championship, the reason why I said earlier this week that I'm not going to have the is it sustainable conversation, they're going to win enough games to put themselves in a good postseason spot. They've already pretty much done that. We're pretty close to the world where we're talking about them as the number 1 seed here. I get it. The Rams and them have the same record. You have the tiebreaker. I feel pretty good about where they're going to end up the rest of the season. And then it's a question of, do you believe they could dial it up enough in the playoffs for them to win? And I do. And that's why I'm sitting here feeling very confident in them. Steve, obviously, has other feelings. Now, we got to get to feedback.
Now, it's time for feedback.
How about filling us in?
I can't lie! Email us at 975feedback at 975thefanatic.com.
Say it! Let me tell you something!
Or text us at 610-632-0975.
Let me tell you something else, man.
It's feedback on Middays with Marks.
All right, this better be entertaining as hell, because Nate's getting real chesty in the YouTube chat. Like, oh, I always do feedback. That's why it's funny. So what do we got in feedback?
People at the Green Parrot won't be able to see Bill enter tonight with the glare coming off his dome.
Oh.
Andrew from the YouTube chat.
Yeah, go out to the Green Parrot tonight. Great spot, by the way. Green Parrot is actually where one of my best friends, my old roommate, after his engagement, went there, and they were kind enough to set us up a little space to go, celebrate post-engagement for the happy couple. Tonight, Bill's out there for a Sixers event, a little Sixers watch party. So go out there 8 o'clock tonight. But yeah, no, watch your eyes if Bill has his back to you, because that shiny spot on the dome might blind you. Next.
I'm sure Andrew Salciunas would drink out of a shoe. I mean, he is the guy who admittedly ate a churro off the floor of the Reading Terminal Market.
Okay, did that story make it to air? Because I didn't know if earlier this week, because I've been keeping that one quiet. He absolutely did eat a churro off the Reading Terminal Market
about
floor.
The Reading Terminal Market because Connor had never gone there.
So we were at Philly Sports Trips at a tremendous event Saturday night with the Eagles Autism Foundation, and it also had Lions fans. It was like a joint pregame party that ended up being just fantastic. And thank you so much to Vince and everybody over there for having us out there for it. The churros were fantastic. So good that Salciunas went for a second churro, lost the churro from the little bowl it was in. It hit the floor, picked it up off the floor, and ate it.
5-second rule?
Reading Terminal Market, I'm sure they do a great job cleaning it up. I would not do that, ever. The look on his wife's face when he ate that churro was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And look of everyone around did he really just do that? Now,
Man likes his churros.
he might have had one or two that might have helped out in the decision-making process
That would
there.
go back to the boot drinking, too, then.
Yeah, he would drink out of a boot. If there was anyone at the Fanatic that would drink out of a boot, it would be Salciunas. Is that wrong? I don't think that's wrong to say. I think he would agree with that.
I think Ricky would drink out of a boot.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Ricky would. Ricky would make a deal of it first. I think Connor would also do it, but I think both Connor and Ricky would be like, oh, I'm not doing that. And then they'd end up doing it. I think Salciunas would be like, yeah, boot? Yeah, sure, I'll drink out of it. Yeah, sounds like a fun time. All right, what do we got?
Is Tennessee Honey the name of Ray's ex? Drew from the YouTube chat.
I saw that. Saw that one.
As
Greg was calling in about his current beverages.
Yeah. I met a girl from Tennessee before. I never dated a girl from Tennessee. So, no, Tennessee Honey would not be a... Next one.
Dallas Week has no juice anymore. It's a shame, but it's true. Jay King from the YouTube chat.
There's not a lot of juice.
Yeah. And we'll try and fire you up tomorrow. That's the best I can promise.
I think it's not as much juice. It's probably the best way to say it.
Yeah. All right. What else we got?
Last one.
Austin is no Patricia, but he's still cool. Colby from the YouTube chat.
No one can beat Patricia. Come on now.
Oh, man.
But I'll take it, though. I'll take the credit that I get.
This has been the last week, I guess, here for Thursday with you and then Thursday again with you. We saw a lot of shots taken at the part-time producer contingent. Rodman took a couple of shots last week in feedback. Austin takes a shot there. I think Nate also had one delivered ricochet at him.
You've had some.
Well, yeah,
That's just a given, though.
That's a given. Yeah, at this point, I've accepted my fate. I'm going to be the one that takes, obviously, just all of the arrows here. But you could pop that. That's feedback for you. If you want to get a feedback going forward, 610-632-0975. You can join our YouTube chat, too. Or 975feedback at 975thefanatic.com. Well, Amy Fadul, always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always great to have you. Johnny Marks, back tomorrow. Harry Mays for a Football Friday, getting you set for Eagles and Cowboys after we told you multiple times throughout the show that we're not,
Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not worried about it. But not tremendously excited for what Dallas week is. But, hey, we'll get you fired up for it tomorrow. Looking forward to the show tomorrow. Coming up, it is Ricky Batalico and the meathead that loves Nick Sirianni. Unfiltered, coming your way here on 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports Philadelphia. Talk to you all real soon right here.